Welcome to the 2026 SWAC Media Day Zoom. I'm James Verrett, your SWAC moderator today. We are approximately 4 minutes away from Prairie View A&M's head coach Tremaine Jackson from joining us. And make sure you keep your audio on mute. We'll use our hand raising mechanism, and we ask that you only ask one question, and we give others an opportunity to ask. After a time period, we will allow others to ask a second question. We're approximately 3 minutes away from current SWAC champion Prairie View A&M and their head coach Tremaine Jackson. Thank you. We're approximately 2 minutes away from the start of the 2026 SWAC Football Media Day Zoom. I'm your moderator, James Verrett. Coming up, we'll have Prairie View A&M head coach Tremaine Jackson. Make sure you keep your phones on mute. Use the hand-raising mechanism if you'd like to ask a question. We ask that you only ask one question so we can give opportunities for everyone on the Zoom to ask questions, because our coaches will only have around 10 minutes for the Zoom. So we're about 2 minutes away. Thank you. Coach Jackson, how are you doing this morning?
I'm. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you
Okay,
fine.
yeah, I'm doing good, man. The headphones a little small. I got a big head.
Well, Coach, we won't fault you for the size of your head, and you're the SWAC champion. So some people are expecting you to have sort of a big head coming in today.
Well, I don't know who that is. I don't know nothing about no SWAC. Nothing about no SWAC championship.
Okay, we'll be starting in approximately 30 seconds. We got letting some more people in. All righty. And we'll get started. Currently,
As the play is playing back. What?
all right, we're ready to get started. We are here to start the 2026 SWAC Football
Hold on,
Media
real
Day
quick.
Zoom. Yeah. Can you hear me?
This deal is replaying back everything I just said.
Oh, you getting the reverb?
Yeah, well, it's like replaying what I said 30 seconds ago.
Hang on one second, Coach. Let's see if we can work on that.
Yeah, I can hear you now,
You can hear me
but
okay now?
it is giving me a delay. Like what I say. Yeah, I'm getting a revert.
You getting the
They're
reverb?
going to get somebody.
All right. Are you still getting that echo?
I am.
Okay. Let's see what we can do here.
Saying what I said 10 seconds ago. Hello. All right, I think we're ready now.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep, I got you.
All right, good. All right, everyone. We've got one more person letting in. Thank you for joining us for the 2026 SWAC Football Media Day. We're joined now by the reigning SWAC football champion, Prairie View A&M. They went 10-4 last year, 7-1 in conference play, and in his second season, Tremaine Jackson, our head coach, joins us. Coach, if you can give us an opening statement, and we'll open it up for questions from members of the media.
Yeah, we certainly glad to be sitting here in Birmingham on this day. I've got two good players with me, two of our best, um, with Rodney Ojo and Malik Mason that are here with us, along with our AD Anton Golf and uh, our just department of support staff. We're excited. Obviously, it's been a while since we played football against somebody else, even though we've been kind of getting ourselves ready to go throughout the off season. I would like to let everyone know we don't call ourselves the defending SWAC champion. There's no such thing. There's no defend this title. There is none of that. What last year's team was able to do was incredible, and this year's team, just because we were, don't mean we are. And so you'll hear our guys talk about, hey, this collective has not done anything, and so I think it's cool that the media and people around here say we're the defendant. We haven't done anything. This team has not made a first down. We're trying to figure out how we're gonna get that done, and the way we play football at Prairie View A&M now is whatever happened before, that has no bearing on what's going to happen in the future. And so don't hold me hostage if we kind of just blow off you saying whatever you guys are supposed to say. That's not us. We're trying to get it out the mud. We're starting over from ground zero, and we're looking forward to see what this team can be. But we won't know that until the end. And I'll say this in closing: at Prairie View A&M football, if we don't wake up, if we don't get the confetti on December the 12th, it was a bad year. We need the confetti to fall on us in the Mercedes Benz on December the 12th, round about 4 p.m. Eastern time. That's normally, and the confetti falls sideways in Atlanta, so it gets on everybody. If we don't get that, then it was a failed year, regardless of how many games we won. And so, understand that's the new mentality here at Prairie View A&M. We certainly look forward to visiting with you guys at this moment.
All right, we're going to open it up for questions. First, we will have Kendrick Marshall, then we'll have Mosby Computer, and then we'll have Perry Daniels. Kendrick Marshall, you're up first.
Yeah, Coach, playing off your opening statement, you're obviously not considering yourself defending champions, but your opponents are or will be during the regular season. How would you approach that going into the season, knowing that you're the hunted now instead of being the hunters from last year?
Prairie View A&M will never be the hunted. We will always be the hunter. We people felt like whatever they feel like about us last year before we even played one snap. The way we carry ourselves, the way we go about our business, the confidence that we play with, it's different. And so when you understand who you are and whose you are and what you came to do as a program, then none of that stuff matters to us. And so, but I never want you guys to think we feel like we're the hunted. There's no target on our back. We're not afraid of trap games and things of that nature. We haven't done anything for any of those things to matter. And so I know that that's common amongst people, but there's not that's not us. We play football a totally different way. We program our guys a totally different way. And so we're eager to see what this team can be, which we won't know what that is until the end.
All right, next up, we have Mosby's Computer, then Perry Daniels.
Hey, how you doing, Coach Jackson? Lionel
Morning.
Mosby with the computer. Versus Everybody Network. I wanted to ask you specifically about the defense. Last year, I think you guys kind of used some non-traditional guys in like those pass rush specialist roles. And you also lost some pieces up front on the defensive line. How important was it finding more natural pass rush presence this offseason, and what do you expect that pressure to come from in this year?
Yeah, I don't know where it's gonna come from, to be honest. And I'm not giving you coach speak. When we lined up a year ago, we had all new starters, not many returners, and nobody knew what we were gonna be. We feel the same way this year. We won't know until fall camp. We've done some things defensively to try to help us in certain situations. Coach Anderson and his staff, they've tweaked some things to try to help us throughout league play now that we've had a round in it. But we don't know, and we won't know until we get those guys out there in fall camp and see what we specialize in. And then when we get to competitive play, we'll be able to really know and maybe tweak some things along the way during the season to put us in the best position. And so it's just it's wait and see right now, just like it was a year ago, and just like it'll be moving forward in the future.
Next up, we have Perry Daniels. Then we'll have James Hill.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, we do know that you have a very dynamic running back in Chase Bingman. Talk about him and his development over the summer and what we can expect this season out of that young man.
Yeah, Chase has done a really good job for us and really grown and matured throughout the spring and throughout his time that we've been together. We've been with him spring, fall, spring, summer now. And so we're looking forward to his second fall. Again, we know what Chase was. We don't know what Chase will be. We believe that Chase will have a really good year, but Chase understands that the only thing that works is work, and he's been doing a really good job of working and really proud of his leadership this summer. He's taken a different role, and if you know Chase, he's a quiet kid, but he's really been vocal on some things, and so really, really excited about his maturation as we get closer to the season, but certainly definitely looking for big things for him and from him in this fall season.
Next, we have James Hill, then Terrence Harris, and our last question will be from Jason Bristol of KHOU.
Coach,
James Hill?
Coach, I hope you and everyone associated with the Prairie View football program and the university are well, and also everyone in Birmingham today. I wish I was there. Can you talk a little bit about your quarterback room as we move into 2026 and what that looks like and some of the gentlemen who are there throwing it around?
Yeah, James, I appreciate the question. Good morning to you. James, we won the Grambling game as the starter, and so he's kind of the guy, and he wears number 21, so he stands out at quarterback. We brought in some guys. Caden Smith is a local kid from Angelo State. Preston Brown is a kid from Catawba. Tyler Nelson was in the room last year. We have some guys in that room that are gonna have to get in fall camp and fight it out, and they've been fighting it out all summer. The quarterback at Prairie View A&M will be the guy that wins the team and turns the ball over the least. That's who our quarterback is. And so you got a tall task in winning the locker room in order to represent our program. I tell our quarterbacks all the time, it's two people mainly going to every press conference after the game, me and the quarterback. And I ain't going with nobody soft or nobody I don't know nothing about. And so we're gonna find out who that is. We're gonna find out who can be the leader of the locker room. And when we find out who that is and make a decision, then that's who we're gonna roll with. And we're not afraid to play more than one quarterback. I don't believe in just having one. I believe in having multiple guys ready because you never know when the next guy might be up. And so we'll see what works for us in that room, and then we'll go from there.
All right. Next up, we've got Terrence Harris, and our last person to be Jason Bristol. Mr. Harris, you're up.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good morning.
Hey, can you compare? I know you say, this is a new year, but can you compare how this feels compared to maybe last year at this point? I mean, in terms of just what you know about your team, what you know about this league. I mean, how different do you feel now as opposed to last year this time?
Yeah, Terrence, I'm so wired, man, a different way until nothing feels different. It's always 4th and 1 for us. we're always trying to seek answers and be better. Just when you think you know the league changes because the players change in the league. And so you never can get a beat on it. And I think when you start thinking you got it, you ain't got it no more. When you start getting comfortable and oh, this feels better, it never feels good to me. And it won't feel good to me until the confetti falls on me December the 12th with my arms around my other guys in Atlanta. That's the only time it feels good. And at Prairie View A&M, we don't seek comfort. We don't seek great feelings and being told good job. That's not life, and that's not how we play football. So I don't know if it ever is gonna feel any different.
Thanks, Coach.
Nope.
All right, we got last question, Jason Bristol from
Nice.
KHOU.
Good morning, Tremaine. You talked about forgetting about last year. Is it easier to move forward these days due to the roster turnover and the portal in your mind? Is an easier sell for having new kids in the program?
Yeah, it's just the way we do business now, Jason. It is what it is. Every year's a new year. There's no more getting comfortable in knowing who those guys are. And when we bring a new crew of guys in, that's just what it is, and that's the way we ball. And for us, luckily, we've been doing it like that the last 4 or 5 years. So it's just natural, not a natural progression for us.
All right, Coach, thank you so very much
Thank
for
you.
your time, and good luck to you this season.
Thank you. Go Panthers.
All right, members of the media, thank you so much for your patience. We did go over about 2 or 3 minutes, but next up, we will have Bethune-Cookman's head coach, Raymond Woody. And if you had your hand up before, please put your hand down. And if you are have your hands up, I know we have Mosby Computer, Perry Daniels, and James Hill. If you're ready to ask questions for Raymond Woody, please keep your hand up there. And we've just added another one, Brandon Phone. So since Brandon is the newest person on there, we're going to let Brandon go first, and then we'll follow by Mr. Hill, Mr. Daniels, and Mosby Computer. So we waiting for Raymond Woody of Bethune-Cookman. All right, Coach Woody, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you fine. We're joined now by Bethune-Cookman head coach Raymond Woody. His team last year went 6-6 overall, 5-3 in conference play, undefeated in Daytona. Coach, if you could give us an opening statement, and we'll open it up for members of the media.
Thank you for having me on. Obviously, we finished the right way and carried some momentum in the spring, working on the different things we needed to fill some of the holes, and been working hard during the summer to get ready for our season opener against Central Florida September 3rd.
All right, we'll open up for members of the media. Right now we have Brandon Fall, then James Hill, Perry Daniels, and Mosby Computer. Mr. Brandon, you're up.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
I'm doing great, and yourself?
I'm doing great. Wanted to ask you, finally you seem to really start to get the ball rolling and the program headed in the right direction. Granted, every year is its own separate creature, but wanted to ask you, as a leader of a program, as a leader of a group of young men, what was something that you learned about yourself as a coach, as a leader, that you can carry forth not only into next year, but throughout your coaching career as you look to continue to move the program forward?
Well, the big thing is when I came in 3 years ago, you can't expect that the players know the little details to keep escalating the program. A simple thing as, on time mean late. When you tell student athletes to wear a certain color, that means the standard is a standard, so just being consistent and doing the right things all the time, even if it if it hurts them, you still can look in the mirror and say, hey, you know what, we're building young men. And I think that really helped us, coming into a situation like I did with being on academic probation, as far as APR, not winning games that we should have won. And I think that's a big contributor of not just myself, but the whole coaching staff, but being able to model that behavior so everyone can follow.
Thanks, Coach, and wishing you luck this season.
Thank you.
Next up, James Hill, then Perry Daniels.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone in Daytona with Wildcats Nation are well, and definitely today, everybody in Birmingham. Can you talk a little bit about the Let's Go Wildcats, the quarterback room, what you see so far as you get into a camp and you move forward into the season? Tell us about the quarterback room and some of the gentlemen who are there.
Well, we have a returner. He didn't play a lot. He played like in one game. He's a transfer from FIU. He transferred to South Carolina State, and now he's here. He was here last year. Amari Jones, he's showing flashes of good leadership. When he says things, the team follows, and we look at that. You got to be able to model that behavior and be the face of the program. And then we have another individual that's pushing him is Tyler Jefferson, who transferred from FAM. Prior to that, he was at Central Michigan. So those two guys are battling. They've been battling all spring, and then obviously all summer, as well, being consistent on doing the things that we need them to do. And we brought a kid, Joel Morris, who was a mid-year. He played at Booker High School, like I say, just finished getting ready for the prom, went to the prom. Now he's here working and doing the things that he needs to do. So I think that with him being so talented, he's going to push those other two guys, as a true freshman.
Thank you, Coach. Look forward to covering you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Hill.
Perry Daniels, you're up next.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, it's been a pleasure watching the evolution of your program progress over your tenure there at Bethune-Cookman. Today, let's talk about Christian Loving, your offensive lineman, and Steven Sparrow, your linebacker. What makes those guys special?
I tell you, starting with Christian Loving, when I first took the job in 2023, he was already here. He came in as a defensive lineman, and then we saw it. We only had 7 guys total on the football team that spring as far as offensive linemen. So we moved him, smart guy. He has a talent, obviously, right, that could play on both sides. But we said, we need to put him at the center of it on the offensive side of the ball because he can ID different fronts on the defense. He started for us 3 years. He played every snap up until last year, and then obviously now he gets granted another year. He's a blue collar guy. When you look at his stature, he's not the tallest guy. He's about 5'11", 308 pounds, but I mean he's a worker. He's the definition of come to work, go to work, every day, and we see him as anchoring, that offensive line, and then he already graduated, mature guy. So right now he's actually, leading that offense.
And Steven Sparrow?
Steven, he's another one that was here when I got here. Quite a story. I mean, this kid was ineligible. He was in that group of guys, who didn't do what they were supposed to do in the classroom, and then obviously allowed the program to be on academic probation. He told me when I looked him in the eye, he said, Coach, I'm going to do what's right. And I told him it's only 2 words, do right and then prove it. So for him to make a turnaround going from a 1.2 GPA to a 4.0 and graduating last year, that says a lot. He played, the star position. We're moving him back and forth from star to inside, coming in, putting a new defensive scheme. He's versatile. He gained 15 pounds. He's around 215 now. He was at 200, and we're looking for exciting things from him because he's a smart football player. You know, he understands the front and then he understands the back end. So we're looking at big year for him.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thank you.
Coach, Coach, with the new 5-year mandate from the NCAA for student athletes, they have 5 years to do five. How does this affect the way you recruit and the way that you play players, since you will not have any more red shirts?
Well, you know, we're gonna, like I say, we got to recruit every year. You know, obviously a lot of the transfers 2 to 3 years, that's over, you know. So we're recruiting. When I first got the job, we recruited a lot of high school guys, and we understand that, you know, you play, it's almost play to pay, but at any rate, you know, it's gonna help some of that transferring 2 to 3 times. We're gonna play the guys, you know, that want to play here and want to stay here, and we're really not gonna worry about all of that because, like I tell the guys all the time, you know, we're gonna play the best, and whatever happens after that, we'll talk about it. Because as far as, you know, putting a game plan together with a lot of different things happening in the NIL world, you know, you really trying to build a culture, but you're building rosters.
Coach, you went undefeated at home in Daytona. A lot of people who were with you when you guys were in the MEAC, they could see the obvious situation bringing teams from the north down to the south. But in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, all the teams are in the south. What has been the secret sauce to making it difficult for teams to win in Daytona?
Well, you know, we have to find the secret sauce to win away as well, right? So, I mean, it really exciting. The players get up for the band. You know, obviously we don't travel the band away games and, you know, Chili's because of funding. But at the end of the day, it's no excuses. When you walk through the door, we expect productivity. So, you know, we have to find a way to have that same juice when we play away, whether it's one person in the stands is thousands of people in the stands. So, you know, that's on us as coaches, and we just got to do a better job of getting those guys ready to play away. Just always putting them in adverse situation, just like practice. It's not a whole lot of people at the practices, so you still have to execute. You know, you execute, you win, and that's the same thing on game day, whether it's players, uh, fans, spectators, whoever in the stands or not. We still got to show up, and that's something that our guys thrive on. They really do, though. I mean, coming home and looking in the stands and seeing the band and seeing a lot of the community coming out, you know, it's tough to win, you know, if you're coming down to the jungle.
Got one more question, James Hill. You're up.
Hey, Coach, the Florida Classic, it's a historical game in HBCU football, FAM, Bethune. It's a beautiful thing. Tell us a little bit about the Classic, and obviously you walked out of Camping World hoisting the trophy.
Well, you know what? You know, at the end of the day, it was like that when I was, you know, a player. I mean, you got a lot of guys on those two teams, being BCU versus FAM. You know, they played with each other. I mean, it's in the state of Florida. You got some of the parents that know each other. Some of them stay in the same neighborhood. So it's a great thing to have that every year, you know, people coming together. And at the end of the day, one guy have to win and one guy have to lose. So it's a big deal, you know, and we make a lot of money to help with resources, you know, from that one game. And you know, when you say homecoming and the classic, you know, you must win those games, you know, to keep the bills paid, you know, and that's the reality of it. But we have to take the next step, you know, obviously every year, you know, you just never know. The record goes out the window. I mean, you know, you look back in history, some of the coaches, you know, they could win 9 or 10 games that come to the classic and may lose, you know, because it's really exciting event, and anything goes that game.
All right, Coach. Thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you.
And good luck to you this season.
Thanks so much for having me on.
All right. Thanks so very much, Coach Woody of Bethune-Cookman. We're about 4 minutes away from Alcorn State Braves head coach Cedric Thomas. And it looks like we're back on schedule. Coach Thomas, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Joining us now is head coach Cedric Thomas of Alcorn State Braves. Last year, 5-7, 4-4. Had a season-high 4-game win streak, 4-1 at home. Coach, if you could give us an opening statement, and we'll open it up for members of the media.
First of all, this is blessed, great opportunity, playing in this league, coaching in this league. It's just really good to see how it's grown and from a social media standpoint and just a media standpoint, and also networking for these young brothers. And so that's first and foremost. And the second part is just excited about this year. I thought we finished, strong and made some changes mid-season to kind of get things rocking the right way. Got some retention. It was always good. My first year tenure as a head coach to have a quarterback returning. So that's always a plus. And 4 linemen. And so we're excited about it, from a coaching standpoint, administration standpoint, and also just from for building this team in this new age, NIL and transfer portal.
All right, we'll open it up for members of the media. James Hill, you're first, then Perry Daniels.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone on the reservation and even in Birmingham today are well. Alcorn Braves football, the history, Coach Cassom, the McNair family, yourself, and then great players. Talk a little bit about what it means to put Braves on your chest and go into the 2026 season and grind it out.
It's a lifetime commitment. And times do change. And I think that's where we at now. Where there's no longer Felix Harper being in the program for 5 years or Warren Gatewood being in the program, for 4 years and having those tenure guys. We basically in the free agent market with, the junior college metric also, to and through, because we know, once you get a good product, you kind of get your kids poached from group of 5, power 4 and things like that. So we navigating through that. But for the most part, we're excited about the guys that return. We're blessed to have those young men back because they had options. Then they could have went other places. And, coming off that last game, I just looked in those guys' eyes, and there was a lot of student athletes that was chomping at the bits to get back in the spring to prove that, we can put Alcorn back to where it needs to be.
Next up, Perry Daniels, and then the Yard, HBCU Sports.
Good
Mr.
morning,
Daniels.
Coach.
Morning,
Good
sir.
morning. Yes, sir. Coach, you talked about that returning quarterback. I want to dig a little deeper into that. Jalen Tolbert started off kind of slow last year coming into the SWAC, but once he got his feet under him, your team took off. Talk about his offseason and what you expect from him this year.
The lead. I'm looking at, a player who has the capability to be a player of the year, hands down. When you look at that back end of that stretch, you just got to put it together now for 12 games. And so he went to a personal trainer. You look at his frame, he's bigger, he's stronger, got a lot more pop and velocity on his throws. The kid is a 3.8 GPA guy, and he wants to be a vet. So the cerebral part is there. And now he just got to lead. I think that's the toughest thing in today's landscape dealing with our kids is, who's going to step up to be a leader. When we look at some of the greatest leaders never walked this universe, Martin and Malcolm, just for example, those guys don't make it to, 45, 50 years old. And so these guys under that same pressure from a social standpoint, because a lot of them want to fit in. So I'm forcing him to lead. And if people don't like it, inside the building, then, hey, it's not always good to be liked. You just got to be respected. And so we expected him to take us to them to those glory days where the John Gibbs and the Norris Footman and those guys, took the Braves back in the day.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you.
Appreciate it, sir.
All right, the Yard, HBCU Sports.
Sorry about that. Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
I'm blessed. How about yourself?
I'm doing wonderful. Coach Woody kind of touched on it a little bit, and you just touched on it yourself. I have a quick question as it pertains to player leadership. How do you allow players to, because I've never been in a situation where I've been on a team, to have teammates come through and step up and be a leader? How do you allow those guys to come in, especially in this era of constant change with players, like you just said, to and through? How do you allow these guys to come up and step up and be leaders on these teams?
Yeah, that's a great question because that's ultimately what we're making and help developing, to get these young brothers a format for living. So one, it start with us. It start with the grown people in the building. You're talking about 0 and 5 and I want to get out the bed and in a state of depression, but I got to put my feet on the floor and go to work. And so once they see me, exemplifying that, and then they understand, hey, look, when they come down and sit and talk about what we're going through, and get them to understand why we're in the situation we're in and how do we get ourselves out, that sets the tone for them. And then just giving them a voice, allowing them to be able to speak. We grew up, it was, because I said so. That was the type of parenting, my mom, gave me. But now, you got to understand the why, and they can ask why in an open forum, and we got to be able to explain to them, why we doing what we doing. And so that's where the leadership come in at. We know everybody doesn't have those characteristics nor want to. However, everybody's not able to have that leadership mentality. And so some people just need to be led. And so we got a few guys that can lead. And so we're just helping them, as the grown people in the building, to help them, use this format for living.
Thanks so much, Coach. Good luck this season.
Thanks.
James Hill.
Coach, can you talk about Eric Thomas, his contribution from a defensive standpoint, and how challenging it is defensively this year in the SWAC, the talent level, how good these gentlemen are?
To watch Eric come in as a true freshman. He's not a Porter kid. He's been with us for 3 years. Had shoulder surgery the year before, and had to sit out. But to watch him grow and develop into the player that he is, all conference preseason also. I really think the sky's the limit. He's an NFL prospect right now. And so his family invested in Alcorn. He's invested. So to watch him, go from a defensive end to defensive tackle, and also, play outside linebacker, that's how amazing this kid's skill set is. So it's really a blessing because he chose Alcorn, coming out of high school at 17 years old. And so to watch him just kind of matriculate, not only, off the field, but on the field also, it's just, it just think you back to, some of the good old days when you had those guys for 3 and 4 years who chose you, and not leaving as, the landscape is today.
Thank you, sir. Have a blessed day.
You too.
Coach, were you surprised that he did not leave with all of the skill set that you say that he has?
Most definitely. Most definitely. I knew after the Jackson game, you kind of almost on bending knees, man. Just waiting to see what that phone gonna look like or what mom and dad gonna hit you with. And so I always have a good rapport with the parents. When I go recruit, it still sit at home in that living room and talk to, the grown people that's gonna help them make decisions. And so that was the biggest thing for them is, Coach, you promised me that you would take care of my child, and you did that. It's a lot of street agents and even schools calling, but they're not coming in this home talking about the development for our son. And so he said, we got unfinished business. And, he's a kid that was crying, after that Jackson game. And he said, Coach, I won't feel like this next year. And I said, come on, ET, let's go to work and let's do something about it. So I'm definitely surprised that he stayed just because of the skill set. But I'm also, thankful in knowing that, hey, he can, be that Malachi Bailey and be the face of this program.
Next up, Brandon iPhone. Brandon, you're up.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Oh, I'm blessed. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Wish I could be there in person, but it is what it is, as they say. I wanted to ask you this, and you kind of alluded to it with one of your previous responses in this new landscape of NIL and like I said, when you find these quote unquote diamonds in the rough and the bigger programs come in and kick the tires and send the hey big head messages. Has that landscape, has that changed in terms of how you go about recruiting, not only in terms of bringing players into your program, but then, once you have them in there, because there is always that specter of, the bigger programs coming in. So can you kind of speak to that, how that is and how that may have changed your approach, if it has at all?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Only reason why, it's not 100% is on because I did 10 years in junior college. So it's really kind of the same junior college metric. Your freshman year from a junior college kid, you tell his mom and dad, hey, after 3 semesters, I can get him Division I. And Division I is just only because we know that's a full scholarship opportunity. So now it's kind of the same deal. We lose Cedric Roberts to North Texas for 500, K. Where you can't be mad, that he's, going to make that investment. However, we tell and said, hey, look, just make sure when you get there, You let them know you was raised right. The discouraging part for me is, when we lose some of our great young players, and then all of a sudden you see the interviews and it's all about that institution. I think that's unfair from the development standpoint, not only the coaches, but the administration, because a lot of those players was with us at 17, 18 years old. And so to see him back for the spring game, and even the coach from North Texas, he's the first coach out of 23 players I've lost in 2 years to call and say, hey, coach, man, y'all have done a great job. Y'all done a hell of a job developing. Said, we almost got to find him for wearing Alcorn gear in the building. And so he's Alcorn through and through. And so when you get those stories, it makes it that much better. But it definitely has changed some of the recruiting tactics that you did back in the day from having guys 4 and 5 years now.
Thank you, Coach, for that insight, and good luck this season.
Thank you, sir.
One last question. Terrence Harris, you're up.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Oh, everything good.
Hey, quick question. You look at with the kids moving around so much as we're talking about, and you look at preseason rankings and all of those things. I know you have always had to go play the games, but in these situations, does it make it a little bit harder to gauge? Because there's so much influx, so much movement, what team is going to be what, from season to season.
It's not as hard for us because we're in it, and so we hear all the chatter. One thing about this, is the fraternity of coaches, everybody kind of knows who getting who, where they're going, before it happened. I think it's harder for the media now when you do make these polls and these rankings because it's so much influx of change. You really don't know what a roster look like. You take the guys who's returning, but just because he came from Rutgers or Mississippi State, doesn't mean that he's an influent or a really good football player. And so it's all subjective. I think it's more so harder now on the media than it is the actual coaches that's in the foxhole, because we know we can pull up PFF, we can look at all the measurables, we know what this kid looks like. We know the Division II kid who may not be getting a whole bunch of likes and stars, but from Monticello, he's a really good player. But he might not get the hype because he's coming from Division II. And so for us, it's the same because we know. I just think it's hard on the media now because rosters may not be accurate, and it's just hard unless you do your research, and have a recruiting database such as PFF and Athlete LinkedIn, to be able to find out what are these guys' actual attributes. So we know we got to play the game, and so it's just one of those litmus that you just got to kind of gauge subjectively.
Thank you. Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Coach Thomas, we thank you so very much for your time and good luck to you this season.
Yes, sir. Appreciate all of what you guys are doing for this great conference. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Next up, we will have Alabama A&M head coach Sam Shade. Coach Shea, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. We're joined now by head coach Sam Shade of the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. Last year, 4-8, 1-7, 3-2 at home. Coach, if you could give us an opening statement and talk about your SWAC MEAC Challenge game versus Howard coming up, that would help out.
Okay. Just want to, talk about before last season, I talked about the level of talent of the players in the SWAC being at a high level, and the coaches in the conference, all really good coaches that have been a lot of places. And so that opinion hadn't changed at all after last season, obviously. But, we've been working hard this offseason, put in a lot of work before spring practice and then in spring practice, trying to work on some things that we struggled with last year. For instance, stopping the run on defense is something that we didn't do a good job of, and we didn't run the ball well enough offensively. And so those are some things that, we worked on in spring ball. And then our strength coach, Coach John Williams, I feel like he did a really good job of working with our team on getting bigger, faster, and stronger. And the mental toughness part of football, I thought we did a good job there. So looking at Howard, our first ball game of the season, it's on a big stage.
Matter of fact, it's I feel like it's going to be the biggest stage in college football on August 29th because, we're playing in prime time in Atlanta on ABC. It's a national audience. So myself, my coaching staff, our players, our fans are really excited about being on that stage and representing Alabama A&M University football.
All right, we open it up for members of the media. First, we'll have the Yard HBCU Sports, followed by James Hill, and then Perry Daniels. The Yard HBCU Sports, you're up.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I understand that 2025 didn't go the way that you expected. And as you're preparing for 2026, a lot of times we like to believe the media fans that the prior year may be some sort of fuel for the upcoming season. Is that the case for you guys? And if not, or if it is, can you please explain why?
Well, yes. I think for everybody that's on our team now that was a part of last year's team, yes. The previous season when it doesn't go very well, it is motivation. It is fuel on the fire for us to, come back and do a better job and win more games because the bottom line is this: you're only as good as your last game. You're only as good as your last season, and that wasn't good enough for us.
And just real quick, you talk about your game against Howard, how it's on the big stage, it's down in Atlanta, it's going to be on ABC. How do you prep your guys to get ready to play amongst all these eyes that are going to be viewing them on week 0?
Well, just working hard, just hard work and making sure that our guys know what to do when they get the opportunities in the ball game. Those are the biggest things. Just working hard and knowing what to do. That's half the battle right there. If you know what to do and you put the work in, then 9 times out of 10 you're going to have success. So that's really the only thing that we're talking to our team about. We can't focus on the crowd or that it's a national television audience. We've got to go out and play, and it doesn't matter what the stage is.
All right, thanks so much, Coach.
Yes.
Next up, James Hill, and then Perry Daniels.
Coach, I hope you and everybody in Bulldogs Nation are well, and obviously everyone with the SWAC today in Birmingham. Can you talk a little bit about HBCU football as you continue to guide and uplift and pour into these young gentlemen? They want what you have. They want national championships. Cincinnati and Washington and everything that you've been able to do with the game, the education. Talk a little bit about what you're giving these gentlemen in the SWAC.
Well, for my team, I'm trying to give our guys a championship mindset, and I'm not talking about just a national championship ring or conference championship ring. I'm talking about just a lifestyle, the way that you live your life, not just on the field but off the field. And so I talk to them about there's a correlation between how you do things. How you do things off the field are going to translate to how you do things on the field. So that's one of the things that I really try to preach because, yes, I'd love for all our guys to have an opportunity to play in the NFL, but that's not going to happen. We might have some guys, but not the entire team. So at some point, you got to hang the cleats up, and you got to go out and you've got to face life, and it's going to be some ups and downs, some adversity, and those are the things that we try to teach through the game of football to our team.
Thank you, sir. Have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Perry Daniels, you're up.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. Good morning.
Coach, you talked about how your defense struggled last year, yet you had two players that on the defensive side of the ball made preseason all SWAC honors. Talk about Arenza Davis, your defensive lineman, and Wyatt Wright, your linebacker.
Well, I'll start off with Wyatt Wright. He transferred to us last season. Started the season off actually pretty strong. Had a strong game against Arkansas. A couple sacks in that game, tackles for losses, and was playing pretty well through the first 3 games. and then he had a slight injury to his knee that, he didn't miss any time, but it slowed him down. He wasn't the same player after that, but he's got a lot of ability, a lot of talent, and I feel like he's going to be much, much better this season after being in our program for a year. Arenzo Davis is a guy that was here at A&M when I got here. He's kind of an undersized defensive end. He's not your prototypical size DN, but he's a guy that works really hard. He's got a good motor, and he's going to get a chance to play a pretty good amount of ball for us this season.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you this season.
Thank you.
Coach, during the season last year, you talked about the fact that your team needed to be healthier. Health is wealth, especially in this conference. What have you done during the off season to try to deal with that issue, and how do you think your team will fare this season as far as their health?
Well, I feel like the most important thing is our strength coach, Coach John Williams. He's been a lot of places. He's been at some national championship programs, and I feel like he did a really good job with the getting bigger, faster, stronger, but also the mental toughness side of the game. And I feel like that's going to help us this season as far as keeping some of those injuries away that we had last season.
All right, we got time for one more question. Got 2 more minutes with Coach Shea. Mr. Hill, you're up.
Coach, talk a little bit about your quarterback room. Over the years, you guys have had some great players, Mr. Glass, to name one name there, but just talk a little bit about this year's quarterback room and what you envision as you get ready for Atlanta.
Well, our quarterback room, I have to say, we feel like it's probably the most talented group on our team this coming up this season. For instance, obviously, Quad Brown is was playing really well for us before he got hurt last season. So, he'll be the first guy to take snaps in training camp. But behind him, I mean, we've got some guys that weren't available to play for us last year. Mekhi Hagens being one of them. He was the starter at Pine Bluff a few years ago. Had a really good season that season, and then also Tajarian Williams, who was at Mississippi Valley a couple years ago as a starter. He wasn't able to play for us last year, but he's available this year. And then we've got Eric Hanley back, who played a lot for us last year, and then we've got a transfer quarterback, Beckham Kriska, and also a junior college transfer, Mac Armstrong, and all of those guys are very capable. All of those guys are talented and very capable of being the guy. So, training camp's going to be interesting for us.
All right, Coach, we thank you so very much, and good luck to you at the SWAC MEAC Challenge coming up.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right, thank you so very much, Sam Shade. And coming up next, we'll have, in his first year on the Bluff, head coach Marshall Faulk for Southern University.
Yeah. How you doing, Coach? Right on that. Yes, sir. Here you go.
Coach Faulk, can you hear me?
Testing. I got you.
All right. We're joined now by Southern University head coach in his first season on the Bluff, head coach Marshall Faulk. Last season, the Jaguars were 2-10, 1-7. They did beat Grambling in the Bayou Classic. Coach, if you could give us an opening statement, and we'll open it up for members of the media.
So first of all, pleasure to be here. Looking forward to all that the SWAC has to offer. Really looking forward to the challenge of all the excellent head coaches that we have here, what those guys and the teams that they bring, the competition that's in the conference,
and all the storied rivalries that we have as well, with all the expectations. Just really looking forward to what's to come.
All right, we'll open up for members of the media. We'll have Perry Daniels first, James Hill second, Terrence Harris third, the Yard HBCU fourth, and Kendrick Marshall fifth. Mr. Daniels, you're up.
Good morning, Coach Falk.
Good morning.
Coach, this is your first year on the Bluff, and you open up with the longest tenured coach in the conference. Talk to us about that situation and going up against Coach Eddie Robinson Jr.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a great opportunity that I have. I've known Eddie for a long time. We've competed against each other, and now getting the chance to compete against him. A lot of respect for what he's built in this conference and what he's done. And I know he's not going to make it easy on me. He doesn't care. We're both from New Orleans. None of that matters. So I'm looking forward to the challenge and what they have and the opportunity. I mean, we're playing in the inaugural game in the Magic City Classic, and unfortunately, someone has to lose the game, and somebody's going to get a chance to create history and win the inaugural. So just a lot of respect there, man. A lot of respect for him and his staff and what they've built.
Good. Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you in the Birmingham Classic, the Magic City Classic. They take that term very seriously.
Right. Sorry about that. Birmingham Classic. My bad.
Yes, sir.
All right, next up, James Hill, and then Terrence Harris.
Coach Falk, I hope you and everyone back on campus are well, and definitely everyone today in Birmingham. Congratulations on all of your success. Can you talk a little bit about HBCU football, and you're able to come into the SWAC and give these gentlemen a blueprint? They've seen what you've done and they've heard about it. But talk a little bit about the game, HBCU and the SWAC, and so far what you see.
So what I've seen thus far is, highly competitive. A lot of teams that like to throw the football. Some great athletes that grace the field. And what I want to do is just continue to highlight that, put a bigger spotlight on it, and make sure that we're having the conversations, that I'm having the conversation with the rest of the coaches, to where we elevate the kids to get them to the next level, and then defining what the next level is. I believe that the next level is no longer the NFL. I think the next level is, as you see at the FCS level, we get poached by the FBS. They want our players. This whole new kind of idea of football with the NIL and FBS schools. They need talent, and sometimes the freshmen don't have it. So our juniors and seniors, they have our juniors, our sophomores, juniors, and seniors, they have an opportunity to maybe go somewhere and make good money while they're in college. Like, the game has changed. The landscape of college football has changed. And I believe that we as coaches, we have to look at it for what it is and start preparing these kids and coaching them and making sure they have the capacity to move on to the next level.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this year.
Thank you.
Terrence Harris, you're up, and then the Yard HBCU Sports.
Hey, Marshall, how's it going?
Doing well.
Hey, can you talk about maybe some of the challenges of being in that seat, and maybe some of the challenges that maybe you didn't necessarily see coming in that you kind of had to become aware of?
Well, as a bunch of my mentors told me in my first head coaching job, is just remember, you don't know what you don't know, and so don't harp on that as much. But having the Mike Martz, the Dick Vermeils, the Tony Dungy's, the Mike Tomlin, that I can reach out to, Coach Prime, that I can call and ask questions to. It's been everything for me, being able to lean on them, having a Curtis Johnson, who's been a head coach on the college level and at the pro level, and then working in the NFL for as long as he did. Having Fred McNair, a guy that really understands the landscape of the SWAC. I've surrounded myself with a great group of people that's going to help me in that unknown space, to where I don't have to just figure things out. I can lean on some people and get some answers.
Thanks, Coach.
The Yard, HBCU Sports, you're up next, and then Kendrick Marshall, you're up.
Good morning, Coach Falk. How are you doing this morning?
Doing very well. Thanks for asking.
You kind of touched on my question a little bit with your previous statement. You talked about all of the coaches that you have the ability to reach out to and lean on. What is the biggest thing that you've learned from those guys that has stood out to you so far as you go into your first year of coaching as a head coach?
I'm gonna say the number one thing is with Coach Prime, just how to practice in this new environment, to where you don't have enough time to really grow players and teach players. It's dynamic that we do more walkthroughs. We don't get a chance to practice as much as we used to practice in college, but the expectations of when you take the field, they're mighty, and just finding the different ways through meetings and player-led practices on how to get things done. You have to be resourceful with the time periods that they give you to practice in season and off season.
Thanks so much, Coach. Good luck this season.
Yep.
Kendrick Marshall, you're up next.
Yeah, Coach. I'm curious, with this being your first ever head coaching job in college and you taking over a team that's coming off a really tough season last year, what does success for you and the team look like in this first year?
I wish I could divine that for you. I've been asked this question a bunch. Um, I'm gonna say this. Um, Early success is, were we able to recruit? Yes. The players that we retained, did they get better? Did they get better through the offseason program? Yes. Um, those are some of the things that I like. Now, do we look like a team? Do we smell like a team? Are we moving like a team? Yes. That's the early success. Playing games and stuff like that, man. I really I can't say what it is. You'd have to ask my AD. You'd have to ask the president, the chancellor, what they're looking for and what success is for them, because my expectations is to win every game that we line up to play. That's what I want to do. I'm trying to win every damn game we line up to play.
Next up, Brandon iPhone.
Morning, Coach Falk. How you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. First of all, welcome to the SWAC. Wanted to give you a welcome, but you touched on in one of your earlier responses about preparing guys to get to the next level, be it that be the professional ranks or, like I said, the FBS Power 5 group of 4. As a coach and as a builder of a program, it's kind of, how do you walk that tightrope between developing? Obviously, you would love to have those guys stay, for 4 or 5 years, but in today's landscape, that's not as realistic as it once was. So how do you balance that in between developing those guys to stay as well as preparing them for, like you said, that next level, whatever that may be?
I don't, to be honest with you, I don't think it's a balancing act. I think it's just the structure and how you operate. When we bring them in, I literally ask every kid, what's your expectation?
Mm-hmm.
And if a kid says to me, hey, look, I'm a freshman, I come here, I want to get my degree from here, I want to do X, Y, and Z, I'm like, okay. But then I tell them the truth, like, you might not get to determine that, because you have 2 good years. One of these Power 5, a group of 4, they might offer you some money and you got to go. And that's just the landscape and where we're at. And if we don't understand it, then within our recruiting, we're going to be in trouble. So when we recruit, we look at kids. How long are we going to have him? We get a guy transfer in, we have him for 1 year or 2 years, and we have to be able to manage that, because if we don't, and we have the expectations of, hey, we got a sophomore, we're gonna have him for a couple more years, and we recruit expecting to have him, and he leaves, we're in trouble. So because of the 85 scholarship rule, the 105 roster, and you can't stash players and stuff like that, it's a daunting task. So we have to do it in the manner that we're doing it.
Thanks for that insight. Oh, good luck. Thanks, Coach.
Got time for one more question, Mr. Hill.
Hey, Coach. Thank you for everything you're doing for those young men at the university. Talk a little bit about facilities. As you walk into Mumford, you look around, you know what it looks like at the NFL level, San Diego State, across the board. Talk about facilities for HBCU and what we need.
I just think on an overall grand scheme of things, uh, there's a hey, let's do better, let's provide more. Because if you look at other FCS schools and what they have, um, they've upgraded, they've maintained, and I think overall every HBC school, as I talk to the other coaches, we are the last. To, let's say, get all the stuff and all the things that's needed. We play catch up a little bit. But what I hear from them, and what you're going to hear from me, is um, it doesn't get in the way of us going out and being competitive, though. Facilities don't mean wins. That's if it, and I hate to say this, if that was the case, the Dallas Cowboys would have a lot more Super Bowls.
All
Hopefully,
right.
nobody from Texas take that personal.
Coach Falk, we thank you so very much for your time and good luck to you this season.
Have a good one, guys.
All right. Up next, we'll have Chris Dishman of Texas Southern. And we're waiting on Chris Dishman for Texas Southern. Running just a little bit behind schedule. But I think we'll get right back on schedule. We were ahead, and actually we still are ahead by a few minutes. Next up will be Coach Dishman of Texas Southern. Thank you for your patience. Coach Dishman, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Coach. We are joined now by the head coach of Texas Southern Tigers, Chris Dishman. Last season, 6-5, 5-3. They had a 2-game win streak. Coach, if you could give us an opening statement, and we'll open it up for members of the media.
Well, exciting to have the first winning season there at Texas Southern in 25 years. Is astounding that we took 25 years to have a winning season, but we did what we had to do. We're looking forward more for this year, and that's one of our telling our guys 6 seconds we could have in 6 seconds we could have a better record. So what we're trying to do now is just worry about us, make sure we have the best players on the bus to help us win games.
Coach, if you could move over to your right just ever so slightly, a little bit
Man,
more, a little bit more.
You let me do all this talking, and then you tell me I'm off camera.
No, you weren't off camera. We're just trying to center you up there, Coach.
Okay.
All right. And now we're going to open it up for members of the media. We have Kendrick Marshall, we have Terrence Harris, James Hill, and Perry Daniels. Mr. Marshall, you're up first. All right. Mr. Marshall's not there. Let's go to Terrence Harris. Terrence, you're up.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Terrence, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Hey, you just touched on it a little bit, but after last season, I mean, well, how important was having last season to ultimately get to kind of where you want to go from this point on?
Well, each and every season, you have to learn from something. So we have taken from last season that we got this mantra called 6 seconds, and a play is we need everybody's best for 6 seconds. If everybody on our team can give our best for 6 seconds, then we can win the West Championship.
All right. Next up, we've got James Hill and then Perry Daniels.
Coach, I hope you and everyone in Houston and today in Birmingham are well. Talk a little bit about your quarterback room as the gentlemen get ready for the 2026 season. So far, what you see and what kind of talent you have there.
Well, our quarterback room is very talented. Cam has brought his talent here to Houston to help us out to win a championship. We have a very good quarterback room. We have Nelson over there, who's a young guy, young quarterback who's showing promise. So we have a very good quarterback room. I'm very proud of what Harold Smith has done with the quarterbacks.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we've got Perry Daniels.
Good morning. Good afternoon, Coach. Oh, good morning, Coach.
Perry, you all right, man? We probably get you some water, man.
Yes, you are absolutely correct.
Okay.
How are you today?
I'm doing good. You?
I'm well, sir. Coach, I was surprised to see the preseason honors, and there were no Texas Southern Tigers on the first team. Can you provide your thoughts regarding that?
Off on postseason honors. We want the postseason honors, not the preseason honors. You can have anybody all SWAC, anybody first team all SWAC, second team all SWAC. It's about the postseason. It's what you do in the postseason. And plus, our guys don't get off on individual goals. We get off on team goals. We're trying to win the SWAC. We try to win the SWAC, win the West, win the SWAC, and be in Atlanta for the championship game. So that's what we're trying to do. We don't individual honors is nice, but it's not what our team is about this year.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Terrence Harris and then James Hill.
I didn't know I was back up that quickly, but hey, when you look at the just the kind of changing landscape of college football, I mean, how do you gauge it? How do you keep track of how good your program can be or the progress when you have such an influx of players coming in and out every year?
Retention. We try to retain a lot of our guys. If we lose one or two, it's okay, because that's the way college football is. You're going to lose some, but if we lose one or two guys, I'm okay with it, as long as we get better guys in. If we lose one guy who's very athletic, you got to get one guy in who's more athletic than the guy you just lost. So that's what we try to do each and every time.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Coach.
James Hill, you're up.
Hey, Coach, you guys will see Prairie View on September 6th. And, the fans always look forward to these games. Talk a little bit about, the 1 week at a time mentality. I know that's the second game, but people are circling their calendars, looking forward to that.
Well, I hope everybody circle their calendars in all our games. You know, we have North Carolina Central, we have Prairie View. You know, all our games circle your calendars because it's going to be a very exciting season this year, and we need the fans to come out and support. We had need what they call butts in the seats. We need those butts in the seat to be able to support our team because these young men has put in their heart and soul. We know we're up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. We're working out. You know, they go to class, they come back, they work out again. So they putting their heart and soul in for this season. So the more fan support we have, the better.
Thank you, Coach.
So circle your calendar for all of our games. Just go down all our games and circle your calendar.
Coach, the new dynamic with the 5-year rule, how does that change the way that you play players when you know that at any given time, even if you don't play them, they could try to attempt to go into the transfer portal and leave? Do you look at it and say, play every available person that you have in order to try to win a game?
Of course, you know, my job is to win now. My job is to graduate young men and win games. That's the two jobs I have is a graduation weight and win games. So anybody can help us win games. I'm not going to sit them and tell them I have 3 or 4 more years with them. I'm going to play them now to win games. That's part of my job.
All right, Coach. We still have a few more minutes with Coach Dishman. Pear Daniels, you're up.
Coach, last year, though, you and Prairie View played in a classic game that was very emotional, came down to the last play of the game. Um, that has to mean something. We realize that that game means a lot, that State Fair Classic. Talk about that.
Yeah. Well, for our fans and alumni both, that games mean a lot to a lot of people in the Third Ward area. And in order for us to satisfy as our fans, you know, we have to be able to win that game and be able to go on and try to win the West. Yeah, that game means a lot for both programs. Not only, you know, of the win, but just to how you're going to set your season. You know, Tremaine has done a good job over there to getting those guys ready to play, and then I got to do a good job this year getting our guys ready to play and be able to beat them.
And Trey Oliver from North Carolina Central has a very formidable program where culture is over scheme. Can you talk about your first opponent and what you have coming up there?
Well, as you guys noticed, we always played Prairie for our first game, but this year is something different, which is great. Different is good. We open up with North Carolina Central. It's going to be a hard fought game. They have a very good reputation over there. I really follow the coach. So I know that we have to be on our P's and Q's in order to beat North Carolina Central. We got to take one game at a time and be able to win a North Carolina Central game, win the Prairie View game, and get on the roll. You know, once we get on the roll, I think it's going to be hard to stop us.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Jason Bristol, you're up.
Morning, Chris. I was wondering, are you pleased with the way this season's schedule sets up and the order of games and I guess where you're playing and having that second game being Prairie View?
I'm pleased with our schedule. Like I said, my job is to graduate young men and win games. So I'm pleased with the schedule we have. I'm pleased with the schedule we got set up. You know, so my job is to win games and graduate. So to answer your question, am I pleased with our schedule? Yes, I'm pleased with our schedule. Yes.
All right, Coach Dishman, we thank you so very much for your time. Good luck to you this season.
All right, sounds good, guys. Have a great one.
You good, man? Next up, we'll have Alonzo Hampton, head coach for the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. Mr. Taylor, please put your device on mute.
Well, they would try to bring him back.
We're just a few minutes away from head coach Alonzo Hampton of the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. We're about a minute away from the head coach for Arkansas Pine Bluff, Alonzo Hampton. Thank you for your patience. We're waiting for Arkansas Pine Bluff head coach, Alonzo Hampton. All right, here we go. All right, Coach Hampton, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, now we're joined by the head coach of the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, Alonzo Hampton. Coach, if you can give us an opening statement and we'll open it up for members of the media.
Yes, Coach Hampton, head football coach, going into year 4, University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. We're getting ready to kick off camp on July 26th, preparing for our opener against Morehouse on August 29th, and the Natural State Kickoff Classic. It'll be the only game in the state of Arkansas. So I'm telling everybody in the state, whether you're a Razorback, whether you're a Bear or you're a Wolf, that's the one Saturday you can root for the Golden Lions.
Very good, Coach. Very good. Coach, last season you were looking for that elusive win away from home. How much have you talked to your team about being better on the road, and what do you do to try to address that issue?
Yeah, for us, number one, we won the first one on the road, which was we call Memphis home, but that's a road game. for us. Yes, 2 hours. So that was a big win for us. I think every year we played that game, we've been the underdog. So that was a big win for us. And, we got to find a way to get over that Texas toast, right? That's an all-day travel. That's 9, 10 hours on a bus. And so we're going to do some things different this year. We got Texas Southern. We're going to go down a day earlier because just I played them 4 times in Houston, man. And my first year was the only year we were able to get a win, and we were actually down like 25 points going into the fourth quarter. So it's just a lot of travel. And so as you look at it as a head coach, you got to figure out like how can I have my kids better prepared? And we figure we need more rest.
All right, I understand that. We have Perry Daniels and James Hill. Mr. Daniels, you're up.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Mr. Daniels.
Coach, let's talk about your players that made first team all SWAC. Jalen Jennings, the running back, DeAvery Robinson, the wide receiver, and Denarius Hilliard, the linebacker.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Jalen Jennings, he deserved it, and I tell everybody this: that's one of our deepest positions. Going into fall camp, he was our fourth team running back, and so you had B.J. Curry, that was a preseason first team, I think, or second team running back, and then you had Zamarian Weber that had transferred from ULM, my alma mater. He was a D1 player, and so those were the two guys. And then Jalen Jennings was really like the third, fourth guy that we had. But both of those guys got injured, and he took advantage of his opportunities, and he became first team all conference. So that was a shout out to him. Man, I seen him the day before we left. He looks like an SEC running back. He's built for it. Zamarian Weber will be back. We signed another kid. He's a one hitter quitter. He can touch it and go 80, 90 at any time. So nobody's seen him yet. So that position is loaded. And then you talk about the Avery Robinson. He's mighty small, but man, what he does is he can play football in that slot. I think he had over maybe 600 yards. He's returning. He loves the game of football. He came to us as a walk-on, and he earned it every single day. And now he's one of the best receivers in this conference. He's done a great job for us, and we're excited. Then I even brought Jordan Jackson with me. He'll have a chance to be all conference. And then the last one is Denarius Hilliard. He's a football playing Jesse, right? He's undersized, but I think he ended up leading the conference in tackling. He's preseason. It was first team last year, preseason this year. He was All-American. That kid is special, man. You'll see him go from sideline to sideline. He's a true definition of what a golden line should be.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you this season.
Appreciate it.
James Hill, you're up.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone in Pine Bluff and definitely everyone in Birmingham are well today. The Golden Lions quarterback room.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about that as you head into a off season, the workouts, the training camp, and ramp up for the year. Give us the update on your quarterback.
Well, I think it's going to be one of the most exciting positions that we watch over the fall camp. You got Garrison Davis that started the last game. He's a true freshman. He started the last game against Alabama State. Man, we had a chance to be up 14-10 at half. They called a touchdown back on us, and then they ended up, I think, leading 14-10 at half. So he's fighting for it. Then we signed a kid, a couple quarterbacks that can both run and throw it. Man, and then we signed a couple high school kids that are really exciting. So I'm excited to see who's going to end up leading that position. And I told the coaches, man, we don't know who it's going to be, but I know this. It ain't hard to turn around and hand it off. So we have the most talented group of receivers we've had since I've been here as a whole. And you guys, you know of Giovanni Gibson, he left. And then we had but the guys that we have returning and the guys that we've signed that you all don't know about, you will be surprised when you see these guys on the field. And we got a tremendous offensive staff in place to do some things.
Good luck this year, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Brandon, iPhone, you're up.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Good morning, Brandon. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Wanted to ask you, what did you, as a coach, as a leader of young men, the builder of a program, what was something that you learned from last season that you can carry forward not only into 2026, but the rest of your coaching career as you look to move Golden Lions football forward?
Number one, just to be able to adjust, to be able to adjust at the spur of the moment, right? If a guy gets injured, you got to have another guy prepared. And so if I've challenged my coaches, all right, man, it's our job as coaches to have every player at your position group ready to play. I don't want to hear that he's not ready. Well, coach, that means you didn't get him ready. And so when guys get injured, right? We had a tailback to get injured. You had a quarterback that got injured. So the next guy up mentality as a coach. And then I'm now being a guy that can float around more. I think I'm pretty well versed in on all sides of the ball, offense, defense, and special teams. So I want to be more eyes for all the coaches now this year. So that's the one thing I would say is just being able to adjust and adapt to the things that are presented before you on a daily basis. So that's what I've learned as a head coach going into year 4. I tell people, man, when we started it, we knew what it was going to be. It was going to be hard. The administration believed in them. They gave me an extension of the contract. So we're excited about where we headed as a program. And now we just need to be able to continue to restore the pride in UAPB football, right? Continue to earn our respect. We're doing that by the preseason recognition for our players. And then the last part is you just got to be able to finish those games in the fourth quarter. If we had done that last year, we'd be 6-6. And again, I'm pretty sure nobody kind of picks the Golden Lions to do anything, but our kids love it. Man, I've been counted out my entire life. And that's why I'm successful, because I take that. I'm not trying to prove you wrong. I'm trying to prove me right.
Thanks for the insight, Coach. Good luck this season.
Appreciate it.
Coach, before we let you go, could you talk about the loss of Monty Coleman, what he meant to the university, and are there plans to memorialize him this season?
Yes, Monty Coleman, I don't think you guys don't know. When Monty Coleman became the head coach, right? Monty Coleman made me his defensive coordinator. And so I was his protege, right? I was the guy that he trusted with the defense. He said, Coach, I trust you. And I didn't even know if I could do it. I'm being honest. I tell people when he came and knocked on my door, he said, Coach, I'm the head coach. He had fired 2 dudes on the defensive staff. So I didn't really know what. He said, come see me. And then he calls me in his office. He said, Hamp, he said, I've been watching you for a year. He said, they just named me the head coach and you the defensive coordinator. I said, Coach, I'm not sure I can do it. He said, Hamp, you can do it. So that's the kind of faith that he had in me. But he was a man of God, right? I tell people this often. I think I was born cussing, right? That was my family. But when I got to UAPB, Monty Coleman, he was a man of God. He didn't cuss. He didn't swear. He loved the players. Guess what? I made a New Year's resolution to stop cussing. All right. And I hadn't said a cuss word since then. That's the kind of impact Monty Coleman had on me. All right. And so me and Monty Coleman did all the chapels. So it was between me and him. And so it was just a blessing, man, to be around Monty Coleman. I know AD, VC Robinson, they have some things in place. We're going to memorialize and do some things for him. He's the only national champion at that university, 2012. And I tell people, I left in 2010. But the impact that we had, the players that we had there, I feel like I'm a part of that. And now I had a chance to speak. Miss Yvette, she wanted me to speak at the funeral. I had an opportunity to share my love for Coach Coleman. I was going to visit him every Sunday after church. And then the last couple weeks, they moved him to Little Rock. And then I would text Miss Yvette. It's a loss that would be felt forever. But I think I can honor him by doing what he's doing, what he was doing. It was his calling. This is my ministry. God has assigned me to Pine Bluff. He showed me the way being around Coach Coleman. And I just believe that God has something special for us. And I'm going to keep honoring him by the way that I lead these young men.
All right, Coach, we thank you so very much and good luck to you this season.
Appreciate it. Y'all be blessed.
All right. Same to you, Coach.
Appreciate it, brother.
Next up, we'll have Terrell Buckley from Mississippi Valley State University.
Get us some set. Running this. We need some headsets. Hello, hello, hello.
Coach Buckley, how are you doing?
Man, I'm doing awesome. If I was doing any better, it'd be a shame.
There you go. We're joined now by head coach Terrell Buckley for Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils, 2-10 last season, 1-7. They finished the season with the win over Florida A&M. Coach, if you can give us an opening statement, and we'll open it up for members of the media.
The valley's rising. The new era is taking shape. We're not trying to establish the culture. It has been established. And I think our off season has been awesome because it's been about teaching and development on and off the field. So we've covered every aspect of the player college experience from the ground up.
All right, we open it up for questions. James Hill, you're up first.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone back in the Delta and obviously in Birmingham today are well. Buckle up, part two.
Yes.
Tell us what we can look forward to, what we can expect, and give us the latest on that quarterback room, please.
You can expect no excuses. You can expect continuation of discipline and fundamentally sound football team with some playmakers. Up front, one of the emphasis that I realized that we was really lacking was on both sides of the ball, right? Offense, defense. We was getting moved around, and we didn't have any playmakers. We've addressed that issue, and I think everything else will improve because of that. The quarterback room is led by right now our captain from last year, Josh Brown. Ball release, all that. So I am excited about this squad and the continued development of the team.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
Next up, Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Morning, morning.
Coach, give us some insights on what the offseason looked like for the Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils.
I got in this game. One of the things I felt like was lacking that allowed me to play 14 years in the NFL, right, was the teaching, the understanding. From the defensive perspective, I was a defensive back, but I learned and studied from an offensive perspective. And now on the offensive side, getting the offensive coaches to give defensive coaches some respect that they know the game too. So the off season for us was about knowledge, growth, understanding, and application.
And can I follow up, James?
Yes, you can.
Talk about that defensive back, Stokes, and his season last year and what you expect from him this year.
Well, I feel like he should have been all SWAC as a true freshman. Stokes is what you call a playmaker. His improvement and he already had the playmaking ability, soft hands, the improvement in taking better angles, becoming more physical in the open field, it showed at the end of the year. And I'm really, really excited about what he's going to do this year.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
James Hill, you're up.
Hey, Coach, in week two, you'll bless the West Coast with an opportunity to see the SWAC.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about Valley playing Sac State and what that can look like.
The SWAC, the Valley is rising anywhere, anytime. That's the only way we can grade ourselves too. This is all about competition and all about improving. So we don't mind flying out there, showing the West Coast what we could do because that opens up an area of recruiting also. So I think it's a win-win for both organizations, but especially for us.
Coach, with the new 5 seasons, 5-year, they want to put the college football experience in 5 years for student athletes. Talk a little bit about that from a coach's standpoint at the Valley and what that difference, what that feels like so far.
It feels very good. I think like everybody probably is saying, it cleans up everything. I don't have to meet with the compliance and the people all the time about waivers and all the parents. And so it gives everybody, it's a clear slate. You get 5 years to play, no matter what. Now let's go out and get it done. Let's go out and put this work in. You're getting 5 years. Let's make it happen.
Thank you, Coach. Have a blessed season.
Thank you.
Coach, that win against Florida A&M, how much did that solidify the foundation of your team going into this season, and how much do you appreciate those men? Because after that game, they were jumping around like they had won the championship. And how much does that carry over into this year?
Oh man, it was huge because we had been seeing the improvement the previous weeks and getting closer and closer. And then we had that 1/3 against Prairie View because we was on a bus for 13 hours, but I'm not talking about that. Uh, but to get that win at the end with an NFL roster was everything. It prepared us to the off season, recruiting, all the things. We got some of the players that are on the squad right now because of that win. It showed if you stick to the plan, trust the process, this is what could happen at the end. And now we building up on that. Let's take it to the next step.
Perry Daniels, you have a question?
Coach, you mentioned recruitment. Can we hear what the pitch is to potential recruits to come to the Delta?
Which one you want?
The one you want to share.
I give you the basic one that we use because of the transfer portal. And you come here, you can get developed. I have no problem with pushing you if that's what you've earned to go somewhere else. If it allows you to put we call them coins, put some coins in your pocket. We have no issues with that because we're getting something out of it just like you're getting something out of it. So we're not gonna take it personal. You don't take it personal. This could be a great relationship. We're not gonna hold you back if you think there's greener pastures on the other side of this fence.
Thank you for sharing some of that insight with us, Coach.
No problem.
All right, we got a few more minutes for Coach. If we don't have any other questions, Coach, one last statement before we let you go. We got a couple of people, Brandon iPhone and James Hill. We got two more questions.
Okay.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good, good, good. Wanted to ask if, in looking at the season from 100 miles up, if your football club does, if we boil it down to three things, if we do these things well, we can have a successful season. What would those things be?
Well, the first thing will be attitude. Attitude, positive attitude, and not wishing and hoping, right? Believe that you put the work in, and if we can understand that, had the right attitude going into the game, what was allow us to finish the game is what it's about. Attitude is everything. Positive attitude. That takes
James
care of
Hill.
that takes care of everything else.
James Hill, last
Coach,
question.
the SWAC as a conference, talk about the competition level, the skill level, and how good these student athletes are.
Man, they're very good from the coaches down. It's no different. I just left the SEC and part of the XFL. It's still the same thing, man. You got your top players. You better make your adjustments. You better game plan properly, or you're gonna get beat. And I saw that last year. There was some games we didn't plan properly against those top players, and they beat us. So to me, it's like playing. It's just a different headline on there. The SEC, ACC just offer more of depth, some bigger, little faster players. But at the end of the day, it's still the same as far as X's and O's and game planning and seeing these great young men go out and compete.
All right, Coach, we thank you so very much for your time. Good luck to you this season.
Thank you, and the valley's rising. Thank you.
All right, we're running a little bit behind schedule. Next up will be TC Taylor of Jackson State. Coach Taylor?
Yes. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, Coach.
How's
How you
everybody
doing
doing?
today?
I'm good.
Everybody's doing
It's
fine.
football season. It's go time. This is what we've been looking forward to. Another SWAC season. So I'm excited. I guess I'm one of the vets in the group now.
You definitely are. Coach, Eastern Division Championship. If you could give us an opening statement, and we'll open it up for members of the media.
Yes, it's very good to be back, getting ready for another great season of HBCU SWAC football. I'm so excited about it. This SWAC Media Day is it's a sight to see. It's growing each and every year, so I'm excited about it. I can't say enough the things that Charles McClellan, our SWAC commissioner, is doing in order for this event to continue to grow. It's going to be a good season. You talk about some talented coaches from top to bottom in this league this year. So we're looking forward to it, and looking forward to rebounding this year from last year's disappointed SWAC championship game, to lose that by 2 points against a good Prairie View team. We're looking forward to putting the gear back on and getting after it August 29th against Tennessee State.
All right, we'll open it up for members of the media, James Hill and then Perry Daniels.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody in Jackson and today in Birmingham are well. Talk about J-State Tigers football as you move into 2026 and your quarterback room, what that looks like. Last year, there was some injuries, and talk a little bit about, give the fans an update.
It's a revamped room. Jared Lockhart, of course, all conference guy. He'll be back leading the charge for us. But it's a young room. We got 2 freshmen in there. We're excited about a junior college transfer that we're excited about. But as Jared go, we go right now as a football team. This offseason has been great for him. We were excited about some of the things that he did for us last year. He getting us to that point of a SWAC championship team as a true freshman. Measurables, talk about a 6'6" quarterback. Has gotten smarter in the quarterback room, understanding the offense and things like that. And our team believes in him. They believe in him as a leader, and that's because of the play that he did on the field. So we're excited about him. We're going to continue to develop him, get ready for training camp, and I'm looking forward to him taking the field on August 29th in Nashville.
Good luck this year, Coach.
Thank you.
Perry Daniels, then Garrett Busby.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How you doing?
Super fantastic, Coach.
Awesome.
Coach, let's talk about Nate Rembert, your wide receiver, and Quavion Davis, the offensive lineman. What makes those 2 men special?
Work ethic. Work ethic. I think from the moment Nate came over from us, transferred in from Valley, he worked his butt off to get accepted in our program. He didn't try to do too much. He watched how things worked on a day-to-day basis. We knew he could play football because we went against him. He lit us up in the vet that day. It was hard to keep him bottled up, but he was a good player for us last year. The thing, a beauty for us to watch this summer is the relationship him and Jared Lockhart has developed. Anytime you can have that kind of chemistry from a receiver and a quarterback like Jared, it's going to be something to see. Quay Davis is a legacy guy. With the layout of college football, players jumping in and out of the portal. Quay Davis is a guy we recruited as a freshman, and now he's going to finish as a senior. You talk about one of the top FCS O-linemen that's in the country. He has the measurables to play on the next level, 6'8", around about 320. He looks the part, and he approaches it the right way every day. Y'all know how I am about trench play, defensive line, O-line. He really establishes that on both sides of the ball. He's the leader of our big men. So I'm excited about him. Can play both tackle position, plays right tackle. A lot of NFL scouts are excited about him. So I can't say enough about what Quay Davis has been doing this summer for our program.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck
No
to you
problem.
this season.
Thank you.
Garrett Busby and then Brandon iPhone. Mr. Busby? All right, moving on. Brandon iPhone, you're up.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing this morning?
Pretty good, pretty good. August the 29th, you headed down to Nashville, face Tennessee State, the restarting of a historic matchup that had kind of been on the shelf for a few years. Can you talk about what it means to reinvigorate and restart this matchup and everything with that?
It's huge. If you're in the city of Jackson and you go to the grocery store, you go to Walmart, you go anywhere, that's all you hear fans talking about. But it's shout out again. I have to say to our ADVP Ashley Robinson for getting that game back on the schedule. We're excited about it. Let me say this is a game that I played in as a player when it was in Memphis. I coached in that game when it was in Memphis. A lot of tradition, a lot of legacy guys, a lot of former Hall of Famers to really make their mark in that game. So we're excited about it. Then, Coach Barlow, Reggie Barlow is going to lead the charge for Tennessee State. These fans are already going crazy about tickets right now. So going to be a great opening weekend to be in the city of Nashville, which is an awesome city to play a football game of this magnitude.
Thank you, Coach, and good luck this season, except maybe in the first game, but good luck nonetheless.
No doubt. Thank you. Same to you.
The Yard HBCU Sports, you're up.
Sorry about that, Coach. Good morning, Coach. How you doing this morning? Well, for me, it's still morning where I am.
How are you doing? I'm good.
I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome.
Coach, you're in year 4. Is there anything, if we had the technology and the ability to do so, what would you say to yourself back in 2023 at this time to kind of prepare yourself for where you're going right now? If that question makes any sense.
I think that's a great question. For me, I'm thinking, to me, we're right on pace where we want to be as a program and myself as a head coach. Just having a plan as a first-time head coach in 2023, taking over the reins after a Deion Sanders leave and you lose so many players, you lose all your coaches, a lot of people thought we weren't going to be successful, but I knew in my heart if I got the right staff in here, I got the right players, we were going to be right on pace. I wanted to win a national championship my first year. That was the plan. 7-4, we go out there as a football team, end up 7-4, and no, it wasn't good enough. And then we come back the next year, we continue to recruit at a high level. And, we were blessed enough to win a national championship. So I'm excited where we are right now as a program. I'm excited where I am as a head coach, and I'm continuing to grow. And like you just said, like this is just year 4 for me, so I want to continue to grow as a head coach. I'm always calling other head coaches in the conference, in the country and other leagues and everything, just picking up tidbits where we can continue to be better, because once you start having success, the hardest thing is to do is to continue to have success. The easiest thing to do is to find ways to drop off, and we don't want that here at Jackson State.
Well, thanks for making sense of my question, Coach. Look forward to speaking with you throughout the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right.
James Hill, you're up.
Coach, fans are greedy and excited every year, and they always want to get to Atlanta. But can you talk about the team you see this year, the team you're putting together? And I know it's far off, but is Atlanta realistic to go in there and go through that process and get it done?
Definitely. That's the goal. We felt like we did a great job of bringing in some guys to replace a lot of talent that we lost last year, whether they moved on as seniors or to the portal. Those guys that we brought in have stepped in, and they are really talented. I can honestly say that. I've seen it in spring ball. I've seen it this summer in both sessions of summer school. So, and we got enough, let me say this, of our older guys that's been around, enough talent to get it done. It's about all of that coming together as one. That's what we had back in 2024. Everything just came together as one. But the talent is there. The talent and the coaching staff is there. We just got to come out and can play good football. We were right there last year, 2 points away from getting there last year and winning a back-to-back SWAC title. And it's no different this year. The expectation is to get to Atlanta.
All right, Coach. Looking forward to covering you this year.
Thank you. I look forward to it as well.
Garrett Busby, you're up. You're up, Mr. Busby.
He has some notes in the chat because he says his mic is not working, LBT.
Okay. He says he has a 2-part question, Coach. First, can you speak on the addition of Super Bowl champion Breland Speaks to your staff? And you have several key players and leaders, graduates that have come back. Can you talk about this team as it enters a new era?
Yeah, Breland Speaks is a great addition to our program. He's going to help with the D line, coach the outside linebackers. You talk about a guy that won a Super Bowl, a guy that was a UFL MVP, defensive MVP, and he's just a technician. He really teaches these guys. Been doing a good job of working with these guys on how to get to the passer. Not far removed from playing football. So he's out there going through the actual drills with the players and everything, and he's hit the ground rolling day one. And then he's a hometown guy. He's right there from the city of Jackson, so he knows about the JSU way, the JSU standard. So I'm excited about him. He looks the part as a coach. Joker, well over 6'4", big guy out there, and he's a great football mind. He brings a lot of knowledge to our staff. So I love what he's bringing to the table for us as a program. Former guys, those guys are really stepping up. We was just talking about Quay Davis's. How about our defensive player of the year preseason, Cam Silas? I'm so excited about what he's going to be on the football field this year. He had an opportunity to move on. It was schools, a lot of schools courting him, trying to, lure him away from our program. But he wants to run it back. He talks about he wants another opportunity to go win a Celebration Bowl, a national championship. So I'm excited about him as well. We talked about the Quay Davises. You can talk about Amari Matthews, Jency Riley. All those guys were around last year and the previous years when we've had a lot of success. So we got a nucleus of new guys coming in, but we got a great nucleus of guys older guys that's been around our program that understands how we want to operate on a day-to-day basis and know what the end goal is for our football team.
All right, Coach, we thank you so very much for your time and good luck to you this season.
All right, thank you guys. Appreciate you. I look forward to it.
All right, thank you so very much, Coach Taylor. And we'll be waiting on Coach Gray for Florida A&M. All right, we'll be waiting on Coach Quinn Gray of Florida A&M. We're waiting on Coach Quinn Gray of Florida A&M. Thank you for your patience. Okay. Thank you for the people who have joined us. We're waiting for head coach Quinn Fordham Gray Sr. to join us for Florida A&M. And if you have questions, please use the hand raising mechanism on your device. We ask that you only ask one question since we do have a limited time with our coaches. Coach Gray, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. We're joined now by the head coach for Florida A&M, Quinn Gray. Coach, if you could give us a opening statement, and we'll open it up for members of the media. This is his first season as head coach of the Rattlers, but he's not new to the Rattler Nation. He is a Rattler graduate and a Rattler through and through. Coach?
Just excited to be here and represent the university, our football program. Looking forward to getting this thing started July 28th and getting into SWAC play.
All right, we'll open it up for members of the media. We'll go with G. Thomas first, then James Hill, and then the Yard HBCU Sports. Mr. Hill, you're up.
Coach, I hope you and everyone back on the highest of Seven Hills are well, and everyone in Birmingham today. Can you talk a little bit about FAMU, Lee, and what that means for you to be back home, so to speak, now that you've been there and you're the guy, you're the head coach at FAM?
Obviously, being back home is a tremendous opportunity for myself and moving the program forward. So it's been fun. It's really been a great transition so far. So for us, we're just looking to continue to build on what it is that has been FAMU tradition and FAMU history and legacy over the last several years as it relates to just family football in general. So we're looking forward to taking this thing and getting this thing back on track and making sure that family football sits where it rightfully belongs, and that's on top of whatever conference it is. So I'm looking forward to having fun with it.
All right, Coach, could you move the microphone a little bit closer to your mouth?
Much closer you want it without it touching my mouth, because I don't know who's been on here.
All right, Coach. G. Thomas, you're up, and then we'll have Perry Davis. G. Thomas, you're up.
Hey, what's going on, Coach?
What's going on?
First, I want to tell you congratulations on your renewal a few weeks ago. Big time deal. And also, I wanted to talk about some football with you. Coach, the biggest elephant in the room is the preseason, the lack of love that y'all gotten throughout the preseason. How does that add an extra chip on your shoulder to your team's shoulder, which will be in the first year head coach? And then the second part to that, when we're looking back in November and this team do exceed these expectations, what would be the biggest reason why?
Preseason is just that. It's preseason. Has everything to do with opinions. It has nothing to do with facts. So we don't pay much attention to that. Predictions and preseason honors and all that good stuff really don't matter. It really just gives you motivation, so to speak. Intrinsic motivation, to be honest with you, as it relates to our players. You have some good guys that played some good football at the university last year that I will hope maybe sometimes they feel like slated, but at the end of the day, you got to put the work in. It wasn't a tremendous football season last year, so you got to earn everything that you get. And we're looking forward to our guys going out each and every week and performing and earning whatever it is that we're able to obtain throughout the season. But outside of that, we're just excited about the opportunity to suit up, prepare these young men for anything that we get, and we're looking forward to having fun this season.
Next up, Perry Daniels, and then the Yard HBCU Sports. Mr. Daniels.
Good afternoon, Coach.
How you doing?
Well, hey, Coach, you know what this historic program is supposed to look like and what it's supposed to be. When you took this job on day one, what was it that you attacked first?
So long ago, I don't really remember. Really, when you come in, you really try to just do an overall assessment of the entire program. And, the thing that I think we attacked first was making sure that, we had everything in line. We talked to the players that were still on campus. And then also you had to make sure that you were getting your staff in order. So for me, it was hitting the ground running because, it was spring semester. We had to prepare for spring ball and all that good stuff. So it was important to get a staff together, and it was important to make sure that we started establishing what it is, the standards that we were going to hold these guys to. So we made sure that we met with them and made sure that they understood what the expectations would be moving forward. So those are some of the things that in the first, I would say, not maybe first day, but first week, that we tried to get done and get accomplished so that we can hit the ground running.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
The Yard, HBCU Sports, you're up.
Greetings, Coach. My only question for you today is, what has it been like indoctrinating these student athletes into the FAMU way?
It's been fun because just to be quite honest with you, a lot of them don't understand or have knowledge of the history and the legacy of FAMU, and that's something that I feel like is something that we as former players and FAMUans ourselves have to make sure that they understand the foundation that was built before them, the people that have come before them that shed blood, sweat, and tears for them to be where they are today, and that's one of the things that we definitely harp upon in terms of our history and making sure that they understand. And it's a part of our presentations almost on a daily basis where we go back and highlight former players, former coaches, so they'll know the people that have laid the foundation for them to be where they are today. So it's a fun task to have and an important task.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Look forward to covering you this season.
James Hill, you're up.
Coach, the Florida Classic is something that people in the state of Florida love, and that's an understatement. The FAMU, Lee, and Bethune. But can you talk a little bit about, I know it's not until November, why that's so important? You've played in it, and it's a beautiful thing in terms of HBCU football.
It's important because it brings two historically black universities and together. It's a classic that we own, and then there's nobody else that has rights to the classic. So for us, it brings families together. It brings traditions together. It brings two historic colleges and universities together to celebrate within athletics, and it gives us an opportunity to celebrate the history and legacies of both universities. And then it gives people a chance to just have a good time, good, clean fun down in the city of Orlando, and just have that family reunion type vibe, type atmosphere. So, and that's not just for the Florida Classic. It's HBCU football in itself, but the Florida Classic has its own, folklore or traditions and things like that. But I've never lost a classic, so I couldn't tell you what that side looks like or feels like. So at the end of the day, we're looking forward to getting back to that.
Coach, how is your approach, knowing that you already have some NCAA sanctions? Do you approach this as we still try to go out and win every game, or do you look at this as a situation where you try to develop for next season?
We're not going to try and we're not going to try and go out and win a game. We're going to go out and put forward the effort to win a game. And to be honest with you, the APR sanctions aren't something that we're focused on, because once we got the news and we understood what it looked like, we gave our players about a week to deal with their feelings. We gave them a week if they wanted to hop in the portal, they could do that. And once they decided to stay, we helped them understand that we ain't looking back, and we're not going to allow that to be a crutch for anything that we do moving forward. So, once we got past that week and the guys decided to stay, because we lost two guys, but one of them was ineligible, so he wasn't going to be able to stay anyway, we hit the ground running, and it was the end of spring. And it allowed us to go into our summer strength and conditioning program on May 11th, understanding where we are. Because to be honest with you, what we can't do is just compete in the SWAC championship game in the Celebration Bowl. We can still be number one in the SWAC East. We can still be number one in the HBCU poll. We can still be ranked in the FCS poll and all that good stuff as well. So at the end of the day, there's still things that we can accomplish, still goals and targets that we can try to hit and obtain. So there's a lot to play for. And yes, we're still developing our guys, but we're not developing for next year. We're developing for the week one against Albany State and every week after that.
The Yard, HBCU Sports, you have a question? Seems like he has his hand.
No, sorry about that. I kept my hand raised. Let me lower it. Sorry about that.
Okay. Coach, I know you've been coaching for a long time. When this opportunity came during the process of getting back to Florida A&M, did you ever think that this opportunity would come back to you to be the head coach at Florida A&M?
I serve a mighty God, at the end of the day. And what's for me is for me. And what's for somebody else is for somebody else. There were several opportunities
to possibly become the head coach at FAMU, but it's all in God's timing, and it happened when it was supposed to happen, and I don't take that for granted. Could say, well, I wish it would have happened at this time or that time, but I'm excited that it happened when it happened, and that's just the bottom line. Because at the end of the day, again, it's all God's timing, and I won't look at it any other way.
Barry Daniels, your question.
Yes, I'm going to take my colleague's James Hill's question. Usually, talk about your quarterback room here, Coach, and if you could, being a former player of this historic university, talk about a two-game losing streak that the Rattlers have to Mississippi Valley State.
Well, I'll address that first because I don't know anything about it. I know over the past 2 years they've lost to Mississippi Valley, but that's neither here nor there with me because we're moving in a different direction as it relates to the program. So we don't have a losing streak to Mississippi Valley as a program right now. But Florida A&M does have a losing streak to Mississippi Valley. But in the direction that the program is moving, we're moving forward with positivity and not worried about what's happened in the past. So our quarterback room is a tremendous one. We got the two-time SIAC Player of the Year coming. That's here with us at SWAC Media Day, and Isaiah Knowles. We got a couple of freshmen that we signed that are going to be tremendous for us in the future, and then we got two transfers, one from Alabama State and then one from the Citadel that's going to compete and help us make that room the best in the country. So we got some guys that'll be behind center this year that have proven to be very, very capable of leading offenses and making sure that we're putting points on the putting points on the board and moving the chains, because that's what it's all about as a quarterback, to be honest with you, and being able to play great situational football. So we're excited about the quarterback room, and we're excited to make sure that whatever's happened in the past stays in the past.
Thank you, Coach. Great answer.
James Hill, you have one question.
Coach, you'll see Albany over at Bragg on August 29th. Just talk a little bit about that opportunity, and a lot of people will be there to see that game.
It's just an opportunity to play, open up the season against a really good football program. We did a good job as a staff and collectively as administration, building that thing back to where it needed to be at Albany State. And I'm looking forward to opening up the season against them because they have a some tremendous players over there that are going to be hungry because they're playing against their former coach and some of their former teammates and all that good stuff. So it's just a great opportunity to bring two universities that are less than an hour and a half, 2 hours away from each other to open the season and see what it is that we have going into the fall season. So we're excited about it and looking forward to it.
Coach Gray, we thank you so very much for your time, and we wish you good luck this season. And before we let you go, it seems as though in all the press releases, they're showing your full name.
Yeah. Quinn Porter Gray Sr. That's my full name, and really what I would like to be noted as, simply because my grandfather was near and dear to my heart. Passed away last summer before the 2025 season, and for me, his last name is Fordham, and my middle name, I don't really have a middle name. I have my mom's maiden name and then my dad's last name, which is Fordham Gray. So to honor him, I make sure that from here on out, as long as I live, it'll be Quinn Fordham Gray Sr. versus Quinn Gray Sr.
All right, Coach. Thank you so very much for that, and good luck to you this season.
Thank you guys for having me.
Next up, leading the Grambling State Tigers, head coach Mickey Joseph. Coach, put that microphone down, please. It's right there on the top of your head.
Oh, it's like a headset.
You're familiar with headsets?
Oh, yes.
It breaks you and breaks you and sometimes it keeps you.
We're joined now by head coach Mickey Joseph, 7-5, 4-4, 4-1 at home. Coach, if you could give us an opening statement. I know we have members of the media here, and there was a press release about some coaching changes. If you would address that right away.
Well, with Coach Carey, he's a great man. I've been knowing Coach Carey since he's 12 years old. Since he's been 12, he's always been a part of my family. My mom's like a mom to him, but he had to choose family. He has a young son, has a daughter in college at LSU. He has another daughter going to high school, and we're about family. And he chose family, and I wish I would have did that in my young career with my kids. I chose the profession. You're there financially, but you're not there as a father all the time, and that's what he wanted to be. He grew up with a father. His mom passed away, so he wanted to be the best father he can be. Sometimes as a coach, you can't be the best father you can be. You could be fine. You could be a financial guy, but it's not the best father. He chose family. We appreciate that. I know it's bad timing, but the playbook don't change, and people really didn't know who called plays last year, so they're not going to know this year who's calling plays.
All right. Coach, we're going to open it up for members of the media. Matt Bellison, you're first, James Hill, and then Perry Davis. Mr. Bellison, you're up.
Coach, I guess to that point, I mean, you guys report to fall camp here in 2 weeks, and obviously this is a big year for you guys. I mean, what is the plan as far as the play calling situation this year?
But you think about it, it's like everybody just has a responsibility, with first, second down calls, with runs and pass. We always had a guy that was responsible for third down runs and third down passes, and then red zone runs and red zone passes. And part of calling plays is being organized in that room. We did it a untraditional way at LSU, and we're gonna do it probably an untraditional way this year. I won't disclose that, but we're gonna do it. But at the end of the day, the ball's gonna kick off. Like I said, nobody knew who called plays last year. You just assumed. You don't know if I called him. You don't know who called him because I never came out and said he's the coordinator. But this year he was going to be the coordinator because he's been with me for a while. So, but it's nothing to take shots at anybody and have not that I don't have an attitude on it. It's just like the ball's going to kick off, and I don't want my kids focusing on that. So we're going to try to make that die down quick as we can.
Next up, James Hill, and then Perry Daniels.
Coach, I hope you and everyone back in Grambling and Birmingham are well today. Can you talk a little bit about your quarterback room this year for the G-men, if you will?
Well, we're really happy with that room. Jacoby Robinson, the kid transferred from Southern Miss. He won the job in the spring. Ashton Fry, he's been with us going on his third year. We brought R.J. Johnson in, the kid that started at FAMU and then went to UMass. We just brought him in, and then the fourth guy. It's Hayden Benoit, the kid that finished the season last year, and Skylar Turbo, the kid out of Oklahoma. So we have five capable arms, and we're really happy with that position because I'm not gonna let you get me twice. You got me last year. You had to play my fourth guy. So my fourth guy is capable of winning games. And like I tell the quarterbacks, nobody cares if you're a backup quarterback. They don't care that you got here. They don't care that you know half the playbook. When you get in a game, people expect you to perform, and that's what we want them to do. So we're happy with that. That room is a very competitive room, just like every room in that building. 62% of our rosters been with me going on their third year, so we're happy because of that with the transfer portal. We have lost 15 kids to the transfer portal since I took this job. So we can't cry about that. We got to move on, but I'm happy with this roster, and I'm happy with this coaching staff.
Good luck this year, sir.
Thank you.
Perry Daniels, you're up next. Matt Billison, and then Brandon iPhone.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Hey, Perry, how you doing?
Super
Haven't spoken to you in a while. How you doing?
Super fantastic, Coach.
That's what I miss. Super fantastic. That's what you make my day. You make my day when you say that every Monday.
Coach, talk to me about Marcellus Johnson, your linebacker, and Alexander. I hope I get this name right. Vigil.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
offensive line.
When you talk about Marcellus, who was a walk-on, when I took the job, Marcellus was coming off an ACL injury, and he didn't do nothing but work. He just, hey, coach, how you doing? But he would just work. He'd be the only one in the weight room with the strength coach. He just worked. And when he got on the field, he played special teams. He just flew around, and he became a leader. And kids like that, who walk on places and earn scholarships,
we had that happen a lot at Nebraska in my playing career. And so you take your hat off to Marcellus and Marcellus' family, the way he was raised. He's a kid out of Atlanta, come out of tough Atlanta place. But he's a great kid. He's a great leader for the team, and the kids feed off him. And I have nothing but love for Marcellus, and I'm happy he was able to expend this awesome event. This is an awesome event. This is a big time event. If everybody don't know, if you ever been attended, you need to come see this because it's great. And for Marcellus, this is a dream come true for him. Started off as a walk on, now he's the captain of the team, and he made this first media day. And then when you talk about Alexander Vigil, we went to go see him when he was in high school, and Coach Pittman from Arkansas was there, and he said if he's not 6'4", I don't know if I'm gonna take him. Well, he's 6'2". And so immediately when Pittman came out the office, he said, Mickey, take him. Because I have a good relationship with Coach Pittman. And I said, you know what? We're going to take him. And we took him, and he's been a great kid. He comes from a wonderful family. He broke his hand last year on a Thursday. And Friday, his dad was like, we're going to see if he can play. And I'm like, nah, I don't want you to play. But he's a great kid. He's a great leader. And he understands what we want out of our offensive line. We have a great offensive line coach with Coach Losi. So we expect big things out of both of those kids.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you this season.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Matt, you're up, and then Brandon.
Coach, is Bruce Eugene joining the coaching staff?
Bruce Eugene, he's one of the names that we talking to. We have 3 or 4 names that we talking to. But Matt, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you, but I didn't know what to tell you at the time. But I'm not like that. But yeah, Bruce Eugene's a name that we talked to, and Bruce is a very bright guy. He's a very bright guy. He played at Grambling. He's at Syracuse right now. So we'll have this thing cleared up by next week for sure.
Next up, we'll have Brandon and then Zachary.
Good afternoon, Coach. How you doing?
I'm okay. How you doing?
I'm not super fantastic, but I'm pretty doggone good.
You woke up this morning, you're upright, so guess what? You got to thank the Lord.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wanted to ask you, coming off the season that you had, every season is a creature of its own, but coming off the season that you had, what is something that you learned as a coach, as a leader of young men, the builder of a program that you can apply not only to this coming season, but just as you go through your coaching career?
Relationships. Sometimes you got to meet these kids where they're at, and you got to bring them where you want them to go. Because sometimes when you say, "Oh, I'm not going to let you do this," you got to talk to them. So we're doing a better job as a staff of listening to our players. Understanding when they're crying for help, they need help. So, and we said relationships, and we want to have a better relationship with our players than we had in the previous years. But like I said, 62% of this roster is going on their 3rd year with us, so we know them. We know everybody in this roster has been handpicked by us, except about 1 or 2 of them. And Marcellus is one of them. He's a holdover from Hugh, and Christian Williams is a holdover from Hugh, and McWayne. So it's 3 of them that's a holdover. But other than that, this is our roster. So we're excited about this roster. I'm excited about this coaching staff. But you know what? We respect each other. That's a big word that we're using in our building, is respect each other. And when you respect another man, you're gonna get respect back. And that's how we rolling right now.
Thanks for that insight, Coach, and good luck to you and the G-Men this year.
Thank you.
Zachary, you're up.
Coach, how you doing?
I'm good, Zach. How you doing?
Good. Coach, obviously preseason polls, we talk about it all the time. These preseason polls really mean nothing. You still got to go out and play. But just talk about the expectations and the standard being set for this year's G-Men team.
Well, you know what? At the end of the day, I tell everybody we Grambling, and we gonna get everybody best shot. But we appreciate people respecting the process, what we going through right now, because we don't look at the outcome. We concentrate on the process, and the process they continue to get better every year, and we have done that. Second year was 75, first winning season since 2019. We going on 125th year anniversary with our university. It was founded in 1901. We're going on 100 years anniversary for our athletic department and our band. So we are HBCU history, and we understand that. We understand that at the end of the day, we're Grambling, and we're gonna get everybody best shot, and we love it. We love it. We accept the challenge, and we respect our opponents, and that's one thing we preach to our kids. We're gonna respect our opponents. We're gonna take one by one. And starting off with the Clark game, we don't know much about Clark, but we know Terry Sims. We know Terry Sims is a hell of a football coach. We know he's gonna have those guys ready to play. So one game at a time, but it's about respecting everybody. But we, like I said, we focus more on the process than the outcome.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
James Hill, you're up.
Coach, the recruiting landscape, some of the rules have changed over the years. Guy transfer, he sits out, he works out, and then he can see the field the next year. Then you got into the transfer portal in that era. Now they're talking about 5 years for a young man to take advantage of an education and a scholarship. Talk a little bit about just what you see right now where guys have 5 years to go out and compete.
Well, when we came in the door, we had 34 of them, I think, freshmen. We redshirted all of them, but two of them played. Two of them played. College Francis and Scott, the DN. They played. Jaden Scott. They played. The other kid that played for us, Keith Jones, he transferred to Penn State. But the thing about it is that since I've taken over this job, we lost 15 kids to the transfer portal. And when you're in the SWAC, any HBCU team, when you lose a kid to the transfer portal, you're not losing a backup, you're losing a starter. So we're losing starters, so we have to replace starters. That's why I said what I said before is like, if you come, now we're the developers. We're developing the players right now. We were known as the recruiters. We was known as the recruiters. Now we're the developers, and now they come get our players. But like I said, we happy for our players that do get in the portal, that's able to get the financial boost. But we also love the players that stick it out with us and hit the retention with us and stay with us because they believe in what we're doing. But the transfer portal, it's getting better because now I think they're starting to put, just guidelines in it. This is what you can do, this is what you can do. But I feel bad for the kids that, was released after the transfer portal closed. And now they can't go anywhere because they can't get in the transfer portal because it's not open, but schools are not going to renew them. So we didn't do that this year. We didn't kick anybody off. We didn't not renew anybody because of that reason. Why? Because my thing is if I was going to part ways with them, it had to be in January. So once I didn't do that and the portal closed, I'm stuck with these kids. But you know what? I tell them all the time, they're doing their schoolwork and they're giving me 100% and they're on course to graduate. Let's go on and eat that. And because at the end of the day, the education is going to be the most important thing that's going to get them through. So we didn't release anybody because they couldn't get in the portal. So a lot of kids out there right now, a lot of kids we talking to, they can't get in the portal, so the NCAA won't let us sign them. So I'm hoping that they fix that in the next couple of weeks and have an emergency portal. You let these kids get in it because these kids deserve the place to play, but also they deserve to be educated, and that's getting in the way right now.
Thank you, Coach.
HBC, the Yard, HBCU Sports, you're up.
How's it going, Coach?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. My only question for you is 15 players leave via the portal over 2 seasons. That's a pretty good number. What is your message to your kids to make them want to stay with you throughout the time that they're there down in Louisiana?
Sometimes when you chase the bag, you miss out on the right fit. Sometimes when you chase the bag, you miss out on the right fit. Don't chase the bag and go to a bad fit because you're not going to be there very long. So our kids understand that. I understand that. I make sure when they go that they go into the right place and they're going to the wrong place. So I'm involved with it because there's nothing I can do about it but help them once they get in the portal. So I try to make sure that they're going to the right culture that they need to go to. They're going to the right coach, and I help them much as I can.
Wonderful message, Coach. Thanks so much. Look forward to covering you this season.
I'm looking forward to seeing you guys.
All right. Zachary, you're up.
Coach, we talk about the quarterback room, obviously, but we talk about those playmakers on the outside. And one guy I want to mention from Raver, Louisiana, Latavius Murphy. Just what have you seen from him? What have you liked from him? He's super big. He's a big kid, athletic kid. How much can he help this Grambling State team this season?
He's a big-time player. Ole Miss had placed him at a junior college. We got his teammate, Kenny Boston, the big 6'8" tackle, Reggie Nelson was the head coach of that high school. So when it came up and Ole Miss went to LSU, then when the doors was open for Latavius to come with us. Latavius is a great kid. He's a big time kid. He's a big time receiver, and he's going to help us a lot this year. Just stretching the field. We got Tyson George back. We got Bam Bry back. So we have a nucleus of that receiver core back. But they just young. They young. But you know what? you know, you're going to take your growing pains with them, but they're really good players. But Latavius is a kid that had a really good spring. He had a really good off season, and he had a good summer. But we're looking forward to him making big plays for us this year.
Thanks again, Coach.
Coach, final question. Do you pitch yourself sometimes when you look in this room today and you saw two other New Orleanians as head coaches? What does that mean to you?
Well, you know what? I have the utmost respect for Marshall. You know, I tell people this story. You know, Marshall played against my brother Vance in the first round of the playoffs. And my brother called me. He said, I just played against one of the best players in the country. I said, but y'all whooped him pretty good. He said, I know we did. He said, but this dude did everything. And he says, the guy name is Marshall Falk. And when he came and he visited Nebraska, Nebraska wanted him to play corner, but he wanted to play running back, and I respect that. And then when he left to go home, I told the coaches, I say he wants to play running back. And you know what? In history, after that, you know what he did? He set a whole bunch of records. I respect Marshall. Marshall respects our family. He's from the Ninth Ward. I'm from the West Bank. So, like I told him, I said, let's meet in the middle. Let's meet at the Superdome. But I'll be rooting for Marshall every week, and like he'll be rooting for me. But when it comes November, then we'll meet in the Superdome. But I'm sure that they're going to be ready because they have a really good program there at Southern, and Marshall's going to do a great job.
All right, Coach. Thank you so very much for your time, and good luck to you this season.
Thank you. Thank y'all very much. I'll see you guys later.
All right.
All right.
Our final coach of the day will be Eddie Robinson Jr.
We don't have no more. We lost our New Orleans star. They want to talk about
Yeah, you check it. Right.
Coach Robinson, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How's it going today?
Going good, going good. We're joined now by the head coach of the Alabama State Hornets, Eddie Robinson Jr. Coach, if you could give us an opening statement, and we'll open it up for members of the media.
Yeah, well, it's another media day, the fifth one for me, but it's just a great time when we can get these young athletes here and the coaches just to talk about the upcoming season, and very appreciative of Dr. McClellan and everything he's doing with the conference, getting the media day to this level. So it's just a fantastic look for the HBCU culture, the SWAC, and all of these universities. So we appreciate you guys all being on the air.
All right, first up, we'll have Chris Stevens, then James Hill, Perry Daniels, and then the Yard, HBCU Sports. Mr. Stevens, you're up.
Thanks. Good morning. Well, good afternoon now, Coach. How you doing?
Thank you, man. I'm doing good. How are you?
Pretty good. Obviously, you wanted the recognition for your guys coming into this year, being picked first to win the SWAC East. Now the target is firmly on your back. Instead of being the hunters, you're now the hunted. What are you going to impress upon your players once you get into season practice about what the expectations are and how you can meet those expectations?
Yeah, I don't think anything changes for us. We were expecting to finish first every year I've been here. That's always been the goal. I think you have to go out there with the mindset that, you have to earn it, but you're going to go out there and win every game and compete at a high level. So that's the part for us. We just have to go out there and win today. Just get a little bit better every day, guys that listen in. I'm preaching the same message. Our strength is in our routine. So we have a good routine. We know that it's something that can work. It can help us out and help us to get better week to week. And if we can do that every week, then they just go out there and play. Now, we know we have some really good coaches in this conference, some good teams, and every team in the conference, I'm sure, has gotten better than they were the year before. So we know how hard that task is going to be, but it's something that we wake up in the morning looking forward to.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time. Best of luck this year.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
James Hill, you're up.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone in Montgomery and today in Birmingham are well. But talk a little bit about this year's team and give us an update on the quarterback room and some skill positions, some guys who can get after it.
Yeah, I think this year's team, we're absolutely trying to get our identity. And we won't know that until we play the first game. So it's it's looking good. We're trending in the right direction, but ultimately, we get judged by what happens on Saturday afternoon, as we should. But I love the way we're moving. I love the way the team is holding each other accountable. We got some friction in the room where some guys are making other people know that, hey, man, that's not acceptable, or hey, man, you're doing a good job. So I love that part of it. The quarterback room, we have Body, we have Smoot, getting those guys back and throwing the football and ready to go. And I have some good young guys too. So love the way that those guys are pushing each other, just learning from on and off the field so they can really get the concept of what Coach Hall is going to teach us this year. So did a lot offensively last year. So the expectations are there for us to try to repeat that performance. And I think some of the key players, Kareem Key, like no pun intended, man, he won a lot of games. So I told him, man, you saved my job a couple years ago. But he's a guy that's gotten bigger and stronger and faster. And he is probably the guy that, for me, I'm cheering for him because now he's becoming a leader. Now he's becoming a vocal leader. His first year, he was just as a quarterback, just smiling and happy to be here. Now he's a college football player. Like, he looks like one, he moves like one, and he's an explosive guy who I think is going to have a big year.
Good luck versus Southern, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Perry Daniels, you're up next, and then the Yard, HBCU Sports.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon. How's it going?
Super fantastic, Coach. How are you?
I'm absolutely, man. Same way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Coach, let's talk about that first game against Southern University. You are facing a fellow New Orleanian, a fellow former NFL player. Talk about going up against the Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk in Southern University.
Yeah, man, just talked to him yesterday at the press conference, just, welcomed him to the conference, and just very excited that you have a Hall of Famer that's coaching in the SWAC once again. And we don't take that for granted. I mean, he had options to do other things, but the fact that he chose to go to Southern University and help him make an impact on young men's life, that's something that we can't take we got to take a breath and say, hey, man, that's a big deal. The most precious gift we have is our time. And so that's the thing that I had to realize, me coming back here is giving my time. So he's giving his time to a cause. And, first game, we want to beat him. So there's no doubt about that. So, but at the same time, I'm wishing him the best of luck. And I'm still kind of quietly a Jaguar fan. I rooted for those guys so much as a kid going to the Bayou classes in New Orleans. And I think from a New Orleans standpoint, just having Marshall and Mickey and myself to have three guys that are from the same city, all head coaches in one conference is pretty incredible. And we all prepped around the same time at different high schools. So I think that's a story within itself.
Absolutely. Did you get a chance to see Marshall in high school or go against him?
Now, we didn't play against him in high school. I didn't play against him. He was a rookie when I first played against him. And I was with the Oilers, and I think he was with the Colts. And of course, in the Super Bowl, we played against him then too. So played against him quite a bit, man. He's one of those, no doubt, first ballot Hall of Famer type guys. And I tell my players, Holsclaw actually last year, I was like, man, Holsclaw, you need to watch some Marshall Faulk tapes. Like, you that type of guy that can do things in the backfield and do things that's from the receiving aspect of it. So I know he's going to bring that same level of intensity and commitment to the Southern University Jaguars. So we have to be ready to go for that first game.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this season.
Appreciate it.
The Yard, HBCU Sports, you're up.
Hey, Coach, how's it going today?
Going well.
Yeah, my question for you today is, you just recently said the expectation to repeat what you guys did offensively last year is there. Unfortunately, you have a new offensive coordinator, Tony Hall. Can you talk about what process you went through in order to come to that conclusion to bring Tony in?
Yeah, so that probably started last year. And, just watching around the conference, listening to him to talk, listening to him talk at different presentations, and then having competed against him when he was at Grambling. Felt like, hey, man, this is a guy that could help us out. With Barnett, I understood, his family situation about wanting to get back to his family and closer home to North Carolina. So that's one of those things that, as much as we love football, we know we have to put our families first. So that's one of those things that I totally understood. and realizing that we could have a void at some point. And so Tony was an easy choice. I was just excited that he wanted to take the job and take the challenge of coaching a guy like Andrew Body and coming into a program, that's expecting to win and expecting to win at a big level. So love what he does as far as shifting emotions. It's very similar to what we were doing with Coach Barnett, but of course he has his own spin on it. A guy that was very successful in this conference over the last couple of years.
Thanks so much, Coach. As always, I look forward to covering you this season. And your buddy, Dr. Willie Hooker, says hello.
Absolutely. That's my guy.
Coach, you won a SWAC championship as a player. How many ingredients do you see already in this year's team that gives you the indicator that they have what it takes to win a championship?
Yeah, I mean, I see the toughness aspect of it. I see the guys that are making good decisions on and off the field. They're holding each other accountable. I see the work ethic part of it. And so now it's just have to have that grind of enduring, those close games, those tough games. Hey, who's going to be that guy that's going to step up and in situational football make the right decision? And right now, I'm always telling my guys, I'm looking for the guy that I can trust. When the games get close, my coaches will tell you, I'm on the mic saying, hey, who can we trust? Put that guy that we can trust to do the right thing in the game. A lot of football is not so much trying to make a great play, it's just being consistently good. I tell my kids consistently good equals great. And go out there and do your job. And then those whole 11 players, it'll turn into a great play.
Coach, when you were on your run for the SWAC championship, it seemed like every week you guys had to prove that you were worthy. No one said that you were going to win it until you guys actually won it. How much do you tell your team that even though you don't have a championship, everybody thinks they have to beat you to get their ticket to a championship?
Well, I think when you have a guy like Andrew Body that comes back, he's an offensive player of the year. So you're gonna circle that, So and if I'm a defensive guy, I'm gonna have my best game ready to try to stop him. I'm gonna watch film to see, hey, what does he do well and what does he struggle with to try to put him in an uncomfortable situation. So for us, we have to rise to that occasion, and it's something that we should be excited about. We should be excited that we're going to get everybody's best effort, and we know that we have to rise to the level to get the job done, which is to win the football game. And so, yeah, we want to score points. For me, it always starts with special teams, defense, and then offense. But ultimately, we're trying to win every game by 1 point. As the game manager and orchestrator, yeah, I have a plan of how we want to win. But at the end of the day, if we can win every game by 1 point, nobody will complain.
Coach, the new 5-year plan just came out this summer. You know it going forward. How does that change the way that you play players, specifically freshmen? Do you look to find freshmen that can just play right away? Or are you still looking for a situation where you can try to develop them even with not knowing if they're going to stay past a year?
I think it's a mixture, and I think for me, you have to be able to adjust in this college football landscape. But you're looking for those freshmen who can do something in that freshman year, and of course, certain positions for us, offensive line, defensive line, 6'5" tight ends. We know for us, we're going to have to recruit those guys that may be underweight, and they may have to come in early and put weight on and get bigger and stronger and those type of things. But it's really like an NFL model, which is what everybody is kind of going to of everybody that I bring in, he has to be able to cover a kick, do something on special teams. It's hard to recruit a kid that you feel like the whole first year he won't be able to contribute at all.
Perry Daniels, you have a question.
Coach, talk about your preseason all SWAC offensive lineman, Desmond Penn, since you just spoke about offensive lineman.
Absolutely. I mean, Desmond Penn is one of those guys. We had 2 walk-ons my first year in the offensive line, him and Elijah Baker. Penn was forced to play early on, and it's been just a good, consistent player, getting a little bit better every year. And so you love that about him. But Elijah Baker was a kid that did not play at all. He may have had a snap here, a snap there, and in his 3rd year, he was considering going back home to Arizona. And so we're like, hey, man, we see something in you. Like, give this thing another try. And so we had a preseason all-conference offensive lineman that got hurt and couldn't play in that first game against UAB. And Elijah Baker stepped in and played so well that he started the rest of the year, every game. And so I think that's a testament of my coaches, Coach Carr, and just developing a young man that was just a walk-on. And so he came for 3 years and worked without a lot of production. And I think that's the message to kids and for everyone, all of us, is sometimes when you're working and you want something to happen on your schedule, but sometimes it's a bigger schedule and you got to just keep working and it will happen when it's supposed to. But now he's a all SWAC and all American type guy who's coming in as a preseason all conference player. So both of those guys coming in as walk-ons and now all conference guys is just a testament to our coaching staff. And then that's what the SWAC is known for. We take players who may not be there yet, we develop and we put time into them, and they become pretty good football players.
Thank you, Coach.
Absolutely.
Mr. Hill, you have a question.
Coach, many people are excited about the Hornets offense with Mr. Body coming back, and he's a dynamic player. But talk a little bit about the ASU defensive side of your football.
I think the defensive line gets me excited. We got Thaddeus Parsons, Tamarian Phillips, a couple new guys that we've brought in. And so we're excited about what those guys can do. Beeman, a couple of defensive ends, some JUCO guys, transfer guys. And we have some young guys like Michael Joyner, who's now stepping up, and he's a preseason all-conference guy. So it's been a good mixture of, hey, young guys getting better, existing guys, and then we brought in some new guys. So that defensive line, I tell people, if you don't have a defensive line and you can't stop the run, then the rest of football makes no sense. Because a good team will just run the football on you, and that'll be the end of the whole game. So we understand for us to be a championship team, a championship contender, the defensive line has to be a very big part of it.
Thank you, Coach.
Absolutely.
Coach, one last question. When you were playing, you were a headhunter. You were a very physical person. When you came to Alabama State, you wanted to have a physical team. But has the age of a headhunting player died out? And is there still a position out there where you can have a guy that can just let loose and hit, try to knock people out?
No, I think you still have to physically try to intimidate the opponent through violence. That's the short answer to that. So, and I think when you say headhunter, I think the NFL and college football has done a great job of eliminating the targeting aspect of it. So now we're teaching kids how to tackle. You go from neck to knees. And I think the safety aspect of it, I had a son who played college football at Alabama State. And if I have a kid that's a quarterback, you want the safety aspect of the game. Like every day I'm checking to see if my memory is still good from all of those hits that I had. So far, so good, right? So we understand the safety aspect of the football game, but we still understand the physicality of the football game. It's one of those last sports where you can still tense the will of a man to see if he's going to quit and give up. And so those are the things that we preach every day. We practice like that. We play like that. And I'm looking for those guys that can be physical and intimidating. But at the same time, we were one of the least penalized teams in the country. So that physical and intimidating is also my rule number one in life, is be in control of yourself at all times. So that means if somebody spit in your face, you wipe it out your eyes, you get the number down, and you get them before the game is over legally.
Coach, I think that's the best answer that I've heard about that situation. Coach, we thank you so very much, and good luck to you this season.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you staying on board and covering the conference. I mean, we don't take it lightly, me and the SWAC coaches, and we appreciate everything you're doing for the conference and HBCU football.
All right. Thank you so very much, Coach.
Appreciate
and that will wrap up our 2026 SWAC Football Media Day. We thank all the members of the media who joined in. I think we had about 40 people grand total that chimed into the Zoom, and we can't wait until the season starts in August. We thank you so very much, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Yes. Thank you, James.